Yo, J1. Yo, Brian. What's good, guys? I'm just downstairs trying to fix some coffee and heat my breakfast up, and I'll be right in here. I'll be right back. Trying to get my shit together, man. I'm hungry, bro. I just left the gym too. I definitely got to eat something. I got these prints yesterday. They be going on the wall as soon as I get praised, my G. No, thank you, bro. Thank you, my guy. I swear, bro. For all the love and encouragement over the years. Sure appreciate it. He say he owns some Travis Prince shit. Check him out. You think he bad enough? Oh, you think he this shit now? Look at him. Watch out now. This man is an art collector. Don't be going around telling people I collect fine art. A fine art collector. Say I got them prints yesterday. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Signed, sealed, and delivered. I love it. Yes, let me go. Let me go. I actually came up here for this right here. I'm downstairs trying to fix some coffee, and my favorite coffee mug up here. I was up in this bitch last night, like 10:30, trying to get a little bit more done before the new year hit. So you damn right I'm gonna find art collecting. You think he bougie now? let me go grab my coffee and my breakfast, guys. I'll be right back. Be right back. Let's see what we got going on in here this morning. I even meal prepped some breakfast yesterday. I cooked an ass of waffles, uh, a whole pack of bacon, and a bunch of eggs yesterday. So I won't have to cook breakfast this morning. I'm gonna need. You know my Travis Prince. Travis Prince. Prince Travis. You never heard of him? So I need my signature on the top next time. He said, let me get one. You know, no. Matter of fact, let me get two. I said, okay, there. I'm one too. Man, so he want two joints. I did my end of the year wrap up video yesterday. We did a little bit of shit last year, you know what I'm saying? We did a little bit.
La craie à focaliser la haine que je ressens dans mes pensées. Pour ce business balisé. J'en avais Gotti, Gotti. J'en avais Gotti, Gotti. Je me la peux.
Got busy last year, bro. Yo, put in that work last year, man. You know what I'm saying? How I end the year out with the same shit I'm working on now. And pyramids and oh yeah, that's how we just finishing up last year working on this piece. Just looking back over all the events and things that it really kind of like puts everything into focus, because throughout the year I'll be forgetting like, oh, I did that, oh, I did do that, and it sometimes be like, I don't feel like I did shit this year.
Well, it's the last day of 2023, and instead of doing one of those recap videos where I show you everything that...
Yeah, last year was a good year. The year before last was great. Yo, highly active, bro. I be trying to get it in, man. This year I already got a few things on the calendar. I actually got like 2 emails I need to reply to right now. So much so that one of the emails, this person, they know one of my buddies. They wound up reaching out to my buddy and was like, yo, next time you talk to Travis, tell that motherfucker to respond to my emails. And he sent me a text message. Hey, man, I was talking with such and such, and they say they made you an offer for something, and you ain't never get back to them. Man, I'm too busy, bro. Man, look, man, I'll try to make time for them sometime soon. I'll shoot them a little email. But I ain't gonna lie, what they want me to do? Somebody want me to do a mural. Man, I love murals. I love public art. I think murals are awesome and they add value to any community. But at the same time, I know murals, that's work. I don't give a damn how you look at it. Murals are hard work. To paint a picture on the side of a building, on the big ass, man, that shit not easy. Over the years, I have become a lazy painter. know what I'm saying? This how I like to paint, bro. I ain't sweating. I ain't in no harsh ass sunlight. Or in some elements outside with bugs and gnats and shit flying around my head. Traffic and cars driving by. People running up to you. Hey, mister. Then you on the lift. Gotta go up. Man, you got big brushes. You got brushes this big and rollers. Now your shoulder hurting because you trying to do this on the goddamn wall. I'm good on murals, bro. I know some people love to do murals. I don't. I like doing murals. I like to help with murals. I like being backup. I like being an assistant when it comes to mural work. Me being the lead mural artist and doing all that, man, look. I'm trying to be honest with y'all and tell you straight up. I'm too lazy for that shit, bro. And so they talking about, we want you to do a mural for Juneteenth. Bitch, dead in the middle of the summer? Ha ha, crazy. Y'all crazy. Well, if it has to be, if they want it to be unveiled on Juneteenth, I would have to do that shit like April, May. Mm-mm. Bro, I swear. And then it's the prep work. We gotta power wash and scrub this whole motherfucking thing. And if it's beat up, you gotta patch some shit on the wall first before you can even start painting. Then you gotta go through the whole process of painting that shit. Then you gotta come back and clear coat it so that it don't get fucked up by the elements and the weather. Bro, I'm good on murals. I ain't gonna lie, yo. Now, a good mural artist make thousands of dollars on one project. I just messaged her. I addressed her family and I invited them to your show. I tell everyone about your shows. My response is, I know. It's just that murals are a lot of hard work. This is literally what I text. You can't see it, but it says, I know. It's just that murals are a lot of hard work. And with my day job, I could only work on it on the weekends. And plus, damn, I wish you can see that. And plus, I would need at least 10K for a mural project. At least. That's my minimum. I don't give a fuck what size this bitch is, bro. For my art to go up on the wall, I need at least $10,000. Period. And I ain't talking about that's for all the supplies and no, that's my cut. That's my pay. That's what's going into my bank account. 10 grand plus the other fees you need for, once again, renting a lift or boom arm or whatever, and all your paints and brushes and rollers and all of that shit. That's extra. So y'all looking at motherfucking a $12,000 project. I'm about to put 2 grand in just like supplies and paints and shit. Maybe not 2 grand, maybe like 1,000, 1,500. Once again, depending on how big the wall is. But yeah, for a mural, I need to walk away with $10,000. And then the thing is, they want one of my paintings. The lady looked at my art and she's like, "Oh, that painting right there, that should be on the wall." Bitch, I got that painting listed for $7,000. Just for a fucking painting this big, I want $7,000. You want me to put that bitch on the motherfucking wall? Do you understand? You comprehend what I'm saying? For me to do it that big, I need at least 10. I need at least $10,000. And if not, oh well, I won't get done. Find somebody else to do it. Cause I'm not, like I said, I love murals. I'm not a big fan of doing them myself. Yeah. Definitely not a big fan of doing them. But that's one thing that could be on the calendar for next year. Well, for this year. It's already this year now. But already, I dropped off some art the other day. I have a show coming up. Well, this Friday. This Friday will be First Friday. So I already got some art out for the first month. Yeah. You know what? We've done studies in our area though, and it seems like places where there's like really bad graffiti, and then the city goes out and they paint over it and blot it out. Then the kids come back and graffiti it again. They notice that if you put a mural up, like a really nice piece of public art, it kind of deters people from tagging it. Like a lot of our murals around the city, nobody don't really fuck with them. Cause they're dope at. We got a lot of cool ass artists around here, yo, and our murals are fucking dope. They some bomb ass shit, and people don't want to mess them up. Even the young graffiti type kids, they don't really fuck with the murals. But it is always a concern though. In what area that you put your art up in, that's definitely a big concern, yo. You go somewhere where there's a lot of bridges and train cars. And you see every bridge, every overpass, every abandoned factory, every train car is fucking tagged. You're like, well, you know what? I don't think I want to do no art over here. You know? It seems like these motherfuckers are known for tagging shit. But I think where they want my art at is actually like downtown. Like downtown in the city center business district. So I'll definitely I'll definitely have to start replying to some shit. But like I say, last year was the last couple of years have been really good, yo. 22 was fucking bomb as fuck. 23 was a fucking awesome as shit. Now let's try to do it one more time. See if we can make it happen one more time. You know what I'm saying? This year might be my retirement year. I might find the right motherfucker to put me in retirement. Oh, Mr. Prince, I would love to buy your entire art collection for $50 million. Bitch, I'm good. Here, have it. You can have everything. You can have the fucking house. You want what do you want? 50 million? Take it all. Take everything. I'll package. I'll wait. Where you want me to drop it off at? I think this year might be that year. Yeah, at least taggers respect something. Yeah, like I said, it's a weird thing that if you put art up, they won't tag shit. But if it's a blank wall, they're gonna write all over that bitch. Well, hopefully this year I can meet my millionaire investor art collector and work out some really good sales. And then, hey, I can just sit back and retire. Like I say, man, I just need to sell just one good piece. You ain't never retiring. I retire from the workforce. My retirement looks like me painting every day. That's my idea of retirement. If I don't have to leave and go to an office and clock in or do anything else for anybody else, I'm retired, bro. I'm not working for nobody. And my art don't really feel like work. That's why I've really kept it in this vein where, once again, murals seem like murals are a hard job. That shit seems like work. I don't like my art to feel like work. I don't. I hate when it feels like I'm working to create something. When I create, it's like playtime. I'm just playing. I'm having fun. And I always want my art to feel that way, to have that feeling of fun and excitement. I don't ever want that shit to feel like work. So if I can get to a point where this is the only thing I do all day, I'm retired. that is retirement for me. It don't feel like I'm working. You know? And all I need, like I said, I just need one rich motherfucker to come buy some of my shit this one time. Come on, man. Somebody hook me up and co-sign for me. I just need like 1 million. That's it. I know I said 50 million to start with, but even just 1 million. Like somebody just toss your boy $1 million, man. I'll be Gucci after that shit. I swear to God. You give me $1 million, I'm Gucci all day, every day after that. I'll never work again. I'm trying to finish my breakfast, but I think I fixed too much food. I'm starting to slow down a little bit. My boss had got me these. She got me some pancake mix for Christmas and some syrup. She knows I like pancakes, but she got me this like authentic, 100% maple, pure maple syrup from Vermont. And then she got me some pancake mix called Kodiak cakes. It's like very very high protein pancake and waffle mix. She's like, you're always lifting weights and working out all the time. I'll get you some protein stuff. These waffles, whew, but these shits fill you the fuck up. It's like the size, it's just a normal waffle. But for some reason, these shits feel dense than a motherfucker, bro. It's like eating a brick that looks like a waffle. Cause this shit right here sit on your stomach so hard and heavy. Oh no, you ain't never gonna retire because you always gonna paint. This is true. I will always paint. Damn, bro, it's just like, I swear it's only like 2 bites left. And I'm struggling right now. I got 1 bite of fucking waffle, 1 bite of eggs, and a piece of bacon, bro. I don't feel like I can eat that shit, yo. Yo, good morning, guys. I'm complaining about how tight my stomach feel right now because I think I'm overdoing it for breakfast. I'm about to pop. I ain't gonna lie, yo. Feel like feel like I'm about to explode over here. But I know I'll give it a few minutes, let my food digest, have something to drink. I'll come back and nibble that up in a second. I'm gonna have to set that to the side. Oh man, that was a good breakfast though. Oh, okay. Alright. Still chewing a little bit. Okay. So now it's time to smoke. Go do number two. But you ain't never lied, bro. All that fiber. That fiber pushed it through, man. So when I say I gotta go to the bathroom real quick, you already know. I done had waffles. I had extra thick brick waffles and a big ass cup of coffee. Oh boy. I'll be ready for trying to think of some funny way to say it without making it sound nasty. I gotta take a shit. I'll be ready for good shit soon. Fuck it. YouTube. Oh yeah. Alright, so now let's get some of this shit squared away. Hello? Is anything in here? Is you empty or not? I hope you're not empty. You mostly empty. It's mostly empty. It's barely. There's something in there, but there's something in there. But just in case, I'm gonna add a little teeny bit more. Hey, at least you regular. Boy, if you ain't regular, they something wrong. At least one a day. One a day. You go 2 days without doing something, man, look. Your skin start looking oily and your breath starts stinking. Like, what's wrong with you, nigga? When that thing went to the bathroom, bro, you're just farting all day. Sitting around just farting. Man, go to the bathroom. Nah, I'm good. Hey, you holding that shit in, bro? We ain't in elementary. This ain't elementary school. Better go take your ass to the bathroom, bro. But people like, I don't shit at other people's houses. Bitch, first time I come to your house, if I got to go, excuse me, where your bathroom at? As soon as I close that door, you hear like, tss, all the air freshener. I try to do a couple of courtesy flushes. Drop 2, broop, broop, flush. Drop, broop, broop, flush. And I try to keep it right, but I ain't about to hold shit in. You know, but point blank, period, man. I don't know what's wrong with people. I never drank a cup of coffee in my life, but don't you ever drink no damn coffee if you have never drank coffee, but don't do that shit, bro. Now you've made it this far, you can never drink coffee now. You know what I'm saying? Your body will do a goddamn, all your intestines and guts would start doing cartwheels and backflips. Like, what the fuck is this? Then your nervous system will get overloaded from the caffeine in that bitch, and you would just, yo. Yeah, if you've never drank a cup of coffee, don't do that shit, bro. This shit is a drug. Motherfuckers think caffeine ain't no drug, but caffeine and sugar is like, should be fucking Schedule 1 narcotics some kind of way. I don't understand how that shit not, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that shit like alcohol, tobacco, sugar, caffeine. Like, them. That's how that, I'm telling you, man, that shit is highly fucking addictive. And you can ask anybody, like a real coffee drinker, can they go one morning without their coffee? Boy, they'll tell you hell no. I gotta have my coffee. I mean, it's the morning time. I gotta have my coffee. No, you don't have to have your coffee. You just want coffee. No, I can't think straight. I can't get my day started right. You know why? Because you're addicted to fucking caffeine. That's all that shit is, bro. Motherfucking caffeine addicted, especially people who put a lot of sugar in their coffee. Now you sugar and caffeine addicted. and your body can't even relax and wake up properly unless you get that big ass sugar caffeine rush in the morning. This is my first cup of coffee, but I've been up for fucking 4 hours. It's 9. Yeah, I've been up. I already been up for 4 hours, almost 5 hours, and I've been to the gym for almost an hour. Did like 45 minutes at the gym, so my body is already waking up. You know what I'm saying? I'm already alert, and so I still do like the caffeine, but I don't need this shit to get me started. I don't have to have it to start my day. I roll out the bed just fine without this shit. Roll out bed, get up and start moving. But some people act like they can't do this. They can't do nothing without this shit right here. I hate coffee. Never drank what? Never drank education it. I only drink it when I'm under the weather. I like tea too. I actually made a tea last night, a ginger lemon tea. I make my own teas, and I do make it when I start feeling bad. So yesterday I was sniffing a lot, started doing that shit. I did that shit too many times yesterday. Nah. Let me go ahead and get this ginger and this turmeric in me and some honey right now. I'm not about to play that shit. Soon you. Nah, something ain't right. Go ahead and start boosting your immune system. Go get you some oranges and some lemons and some ginger. Start knocking that little sniffle out the way right now. So, like I said, I had the sniffles enough yesterday where I was like, I made my tea last night. So, I do have some coffee this morning, but later today, if I drink anything else, it'll be some of that ginger tea. Help that immune system and probiotic. I just drink water in the mornings. It do the trick exactly. And that's why I start my day off with going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? I'm already waking up all my different systems. And at the gym, I drink I have like a bigger, like the smart water bottle. I drink 2 of them shits in the morning while I'm at the gym. And that's how I start my day off. Do some stretching. I say stretch out a little bit, get the muscles waking up. You know what I'm saying? Get your lungs and your motherfucking circulatory system, all that shit waking up and functioning, and then start dumping water in that motherfucker. Pour some water in that bitch. That's enough? No. Pour some more water in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Now keep going. And that's how you start yourself up in the daytime. Yeah. Motherfuckers who just roll out of bed, just light up a cigarette and have some coffee. I don't feel great. I see why you don't feel great. Look at your morning routine. What the fuck you doing, bro? If I could get it and add that to your tea, the sniffles will be gone in no time. If you could get it and add it to your tea. What's that? You make a mix of spices called tea masala? Huh. I've never heard of tea masala. Different spices. I know one of my cousins is a herbalist, and she has like half an acre of land where she grows all these different types of plants that she used for tinctures and creams and soaps and face scrubs and oils, and now she's starting to make like different probiotic gut capsules that contains a lot of roots and different types of flowers and spices and shit. But yeah, so my tea, when I make my tea, I get fresh ginger root, no processed or ground ginger or powdered ginger. Just get you a ginger root. You fucking grind that shit up, or I use just like a cheese grater to shred it. So one fresh ginger root, normally like just a couple grams. Grate your ginger up. 3 fresh lemons. Don't use like concentrated lemon juice or other shit. Just get you some lemons, roll them in your palms and cut them, squeeze the lemons out, throw them in there with the fucking ginger. You get 1 tablespoon of turmeric. Make sure it's high quality turmeric, because sometimes different companies will just sell you some bullshit. It's not turmeric. It just looks like turmeric. And make sure you trust the brand. 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Then you want to put in 1 cup of Bragg's apple cider vinegar with mother. The mother is the main part. It's basically like kimchi almost, which is very, very good gut health. Then you put in about a tablespoon of pepper. Pepper and turmeric are very powerful together, and you let that simmer for a little while. Not really boil, but come to a nice simmer. Strain it out, let it cool, and then you want to put you some raw honey. Raw honey, not some processed shit, not some fake honey. Get you some, and if you can find local honey that is made from the local plants and fauna in your area, that's the best kind of honey for you to take, because it helps you build immunity to the hay fever and allergies that would come from those same local plants. So yeah, you mix all that together and drink that shit like once a day. Bro, I'm telling you, you'll be alright. It'll get you right. It will get you right, and it's tasty. It's really good to me. I like it. Some people say it's bitter, but then it all depends on how much honey you want to add to it. But yeah, that ginger tea, that shit is the bomb. Oh, let me see.
Us. And in fact, the Africans who came up from Africa have no evidence of any Neanderthal genes in them. No evidence of that mixture. So they're the real pure humans. Homo sapiens. Really, really interesting, and it gives you a lot to think about.
Yo, Scorpion Ball, what's good, man? Oh, Blade, Scorpion Blade. Happy Monday, first day of the motherfucking new year. We in here getting it in, bro.
Us. And in fact, the Africans who came up from Africa have no evidence of any Neanderthal genes in them. No evidence of that mixture. So they're the real pure humans. Homo sapiens. Really, really interesting, and it gives you a lot to think about.
Really, really interesting and gives you a lot to think about. Yeah, we use dry ginger powder as one of the ingredients. We put cloves, ilachi, cinnamon, and a few others. Crush them into a powder and add it when brewing tea. Yeah, I like clove and nutmeg more than cinnamon. But cinnamon does have once again very good probiotic properties to it. A lot of things, once again, your food should be your medicine, and a lot of people don't realize like some things that we eat normally are actually pretty good for you. You just need to incorporate it more into your diet, like cinnamon. Cinnamon has very great health benefits. Onions, some people love onions, some people don't. I make a onion honey. So you take a fresh onion and chop it up, put it in a jar, and fill the jar with honey until the honey covers the onion. and you just let it sit like that until the honey ferments from the onion, and then every time you start feeling a little scratchy or coffee like that, then take 1 teaspoon of your onion honey, and like it just helps a lot. It really does. And there's so many different natural remedies that, our great grandparents knew before there was so much over the counter shit. Oh, you have a headache. Take this concoction. Oh, you have a stomach ache. Well, take this for your stomach ache. Oh, you have, allergies or whatever. Everybody will tell you to go to your pharmacy and grab this pill. Nah, people long ago, man, they ain't had fucking pills, bro. They figured out natural shit. Now everybody just want to run to the motherfucking the drugstore. I can't sleep. I have insomnia. Maybe you're not busy enough during the day. I've grown my own ginger and turmeric. Wow. Mm. Somebody just color me impressed. Look at the surprise on my face. Motherfuckers, I grow my own ginger and turmeric. Well, damn. Fancy. What kind of ginger is it? I don't know. I don't know any difference in gingers. I'm just saying. So, well, this is that rare North Afghan ginger. It only grows in the desert. To cultivate it here in America, you have to have the proper soil pH balance so that the ginger root will actually take hold. And this turmeric is actually from India, home of turmeric. And it grows in these little pods. And what you want to do is, I have no idea. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know how to grow ginger or turmeric. But I know ginger, is turmeric a root too? I think, is turmeric a root or a pod? I think you get turmeric from pods and not roots. It's easy, bro. J1T. Oh, you just mentioned ain't helping nothing. It's just the weed keep you healthy. The weed be in the nose. It's easy, bro. They say all that. It be the bud. I think the bud really does help with my mental health. They say ginger grow out the bag. Shit just grows. I don't know which end to light this motherfucker now. I think I'll light this end. Yeah, turmeric, ginger, horseradish, wasabi. Like all that shit is cousins. And that's why I love horseradish and wasabi too. And like turmeric is like the milder root, and then that ginger got some bite to it, man. That ginger, it should be kind of spicy. You ever eat you just slice a little piece of raw ginger root and nibble? That shit like, So but then you get to that motherfucking that horseradish and that shit, and then you hit that wasabi and that shit just. The wasabi is weird because it hits you right here. Like, that shit, it's a weird hot. Because most of the time, hot hits you here and, like, on the back of your tongue. Wasabi don't do that shit, yo. Wasabi hits you in your fucking sinus. Like regular hot shit'll jab you right in your taste buds, like bow. You be like, ooh. Wasabi, that shit like uppercut you. That shit be like boom. Then you be like, oh, wait a minute. I smell everything now. What the fuck? Yeah, that wasabi don't even fucking play around on your palate and your taste buds. That shit just goes straight to your sinuses. Like, hello, bitch. Wakey, wakey, bitches. Wasabi time. Oh yeah, that definitely. Like even with my waffles, I put motherfucking cloves and ginger in my waffle mix. You know what I'm saying? Put a little ginger in that shit. All that. I eat it as much as I can. Eat onions as much as I can. Goddamn um herbs like oregano and basil. That shit good for you. I keep that shit in damn near everything I eat. They're just like certain shit, man, that can always help you out a little bit. Mm. He said that shit strong. Yeah, wasabi, bro. That shit is strong. But I love it though. Like I think I'm really gonna try to make a wing sauce recipe because yo, it's good. Because I love wasabi wings. There's this one place that has a wasabi cucumber sauce. That shit ain't right, man. That shit ain't like right. You know what I really want? Wasabi ginger hot wings, bro. I'm telling you, when I make my wing sauce, bro, that shit be so fucking good to me anyway. Cause my shit be yo. Like I said, I put wasabi and ginger. I ain't gonna tell you like the other shit that I build off of it, but it's damn, it's like a mustard base. I use a mustard base for my wing sauce, bro. That shit be too good. But once again, like most people think, oh, hot wings, and they be like, oh, it's gonna be here. Like, nah, my shit go right here, bro. When you eat my hot wings, uppercuts all day, bow, bow, straight to your fucking sinuses. You eat that wing, then you just. I love that part. Damn, I feel like making me some sauce now. Fuck. But that's how much I love wasabi, yo. Like I really think I'm on to something with my sauce, cause a lot of people don't like that shit anyway. But the few people who like it and have tried my sauce, they be like, bro, you need to do, man. You know what I'm saying? This shit right here. I'm like, yeah, man, I know. I'll figure it out sooner or later. How to make a wasabi wing sauce, wasabi ginger, and then I'm gonna have to call that shit like Food King sauce or some shit or Royal House sauce. I can't name that shit Travis Prince. Motherfucker be like, this motherfucker, some black dude made some wasabi shit. Like, nah, I'm gonna have to get that shit like a straight Asian name. Get that shit a straight Asian name. People buy that shit then. All right. No, I didn't mean to do that one. I wanna there's one new one. It's not named yet. Wasabi ginger wings, yo, that shit gotta be delicious, bro. got a new year, no new fears. I got a new year, no new tears. I got a new year, no new fears. I got a new year, no new tears. I got a new year, no new fears. I got a new year, no new tears. I got a new year, no new fears. I got a new year, no new tears. I got a new year, no new fears. Say speaking the truth for new ears. Hope everybody come and listen here like new year got no new tears. A new year got no new fears. Still speaking the truth for new ears. Hope everybody around can hear. I got a new year, no new fears. I got a new year, no new tears. Still speaking the truth for new ears. I hope everybody around can hear like, yeah. New fears, new tears, new ears. Hope everybody hear like, yeah. It's 2024. Let's get it out the dope. Cause I'm trying to get a bag that's full of that dope. Let's go, let's go. Yeah. It's 24. Tears, fears, ears. Hope everybody here like, yeah. Driving for the ceiling, Cody. I got a new year, no new. Let's go, let's go. Yo, what up, Zion? 2024. Let's get it out the dough. Trying to get it back with that dope. Coming from the smoke. Freestyle never wrote. Not one word did you ever have. Oh, I'm about to really start getting it. Let me finish this shit right here, yo. No new tears. No new fears. New ears. How I used to write, yo, just figure some shit out, trying to lay it out, and then fill it in later. I'm getting high on. Oh shit, hold up. I'm getting high on. Motivation from Zion. So you know we gonna fly on like Jay-Z. I got my time on, perfect timing. Then I keep rhyme on. Rhyme on. I can't do that shit this morning, bro. Corny freestyles. Don't tell nobody I be doing this shit, man. Don't tell nobody I be doing that. I'm getting high on motivation. Hold on. I'm getting high on motivation from Zion to fly on like a pylon. You can call me like I'm Dylon. With the fine line, the fine lines. I like this little beat though. No new fears. It's a new year, no new tears. I got a new year, no new fears. It's a new year. Alright, so we made that one yesterday, and I did another one yesterday that's not that great, but it might be on to something. think it was this one. It's like some orchestra type stuff. It's weird, but I kind of like it. That shit right there, not. You know what I'm saying? It ain't too bad. You know, it's a little different. It's a little, you know what I'm saying? Yo, that shit is a little something. It's a little jam. It's a jam. I like it. So those was the last two that I made. I like both of them. They just ain't got no names yet. I don't know what to call that one. And say now I got 9 tracks with no names on them. And some of them sound good. Like I keep thinking like I'm gonna toss some of them, but then when I go back and listen to them, I'm like, well, I don't want to toss that one now. So the first one it just says like if you don't give it a name. Alright. So all of my tracks got just corny, simple names. 8 o'clock in the morning, 1991, Ace, yeah, At Work, Chasing, Bugs, Bounce, Conversation, Crime Fighter. They all just got weird shit. Gospel music, fun. Hard Times. But then if you don't name them, it just says my song number 2, my song number 3, my song number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and now I'm up to my song number 9, just with no names. And then I was gonna toss this one, and I couldn't come up with a name for it, so I just said it's called No Name. Matter of fact, I can't even remember what that sounds like. Let's play No Name and see what it sounds like. Actually, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Stop. Go back. No Name. All right, so this has no name. It's not too bad. Let's see. My song. All right, somebody pick a number. It's 1 through 9. We already listened to number 9 and number 8. So, pick a number 1 through 7. Yo, Clark, pick a number 1 through 7. Desert Vibes, Dubai Grinding. Yo, see, now I gotta change the name to Dubai Grinding. I gotta bruh. Yo, M. Clark, you still in here? Nah, you're not gonna pick a number 1 through 7? Number 6. Yo, MJ one day said number 6. My song, number 6. You get what you asked for. little bit. You know, I got a little knock in it, real slow, slowed it down. The vocals going all the way through it. You know, but even if I like that one. Alright, so we listen to 9, 8. That was number 6. Now you say number 4. My song, number 4. Alright. You get what he asked for. Alright. This one got a lot of chops in it. Look at this. It's broken there, it's broken there, and then it got 3 breaks there. Then this got a little add-on that's only right there in that break, and then that shit just rides back out and loops back around. It looks interesting. Let's say that now. What does it sound like is the question. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to go through the untitled list and actually start labeling some of those. can't find anything. Let's see. Reversing a cavity? How to reverse a cavity at home? Cure tooth decay? What the heck? Burying the hatchet?
As host of the Alex Jones Show, which appears on both syndicated and internet radio. He is also the founder of InfoWars, the multimedia enterprise. He has been banned by many prominent social media outlets for a range of alleged violations, although his Twitter account was recently restored. Welcome to the show, Alex Jones.
Oh, Jimmy, I've been a big fan of you for a long time. And you're one of the only men whose spit I've had in my mouth. So I just want to say that I've also Willie Nelson spit in my mouth.
Oh, okay.
My mouth was open when you spit at me like a spitting cobra and went right in my mouth. So you and Willie Nelson have both been in my mouth.
What the hell?
No, I stand by.
Put that on your headstone?
I put that on my headstone, but I stand by that you were being funny, because you were being funny. You said to Jake Uger, "I'm trying to be nice," and that was funny to me. And let's just show it. Here, I'll show it what happened. Here it is.
Hold on. We're against Saudi Arabia, you dumbass. We talk about that all the time. People are in charge. Now, what you think? You're pissed. Is that what you think? You're the anti-liberal and you're pissed. Bullshit. We're being nice here. You know what I care about? I care about the American people. Good. You're the one putting out. Anybody, we're not being nice. I'm not all. Everyone get the fuck off my stage.
Okay, so there was the Ice-T incident. The ironic thing is that I thought this was going to blow up into a huge fist fight, because Jake Uger was out of his mind, and you had baited him correctly and professionally, and you got exactly. I couldn't believe he was handling it that way.
He's a brawler.
And he
Jake's a brawler.
likes to say he's a brawler. But it did diffuse almost immediately after that. Like everybody kind of walked away.
No, that's the one time that thing right there was so weird, and I didn't understand why Alex Jones did that. And that right there, really what made me stop watching him for a while. And once again, like, most people who listen to Alex Jones won't listen to the Young Turks. They're like polar opposites. But I listen to the Young Turks. And I listen to Alex Jones. Like I say, I've always tried to listen to everybody. And people, when I say I listen to the Young Turks, people look at me like, what the fuck? And it's like, yeah, you gotta try to listen to both sides of the story. And so they were at some kind of event, and there's some kind of political rally. I think it was during the 2016 campaign, and Trump is running, and the Young Turks are, they're against Trump, and they're trying to tell everybody, yo, this is a bad dude, let's not do this. And Alex Jones is all for Trump, like, extra hard. And I couldn't understand why Trump was, like, why Alex was endorsing Trump like that so hard. And so I thought that was one weird thing. And then he made this one weird comment one time, too, about something, it wouldn't happen, like, if I was a little old black lady. And so I'm like, Alex, what's going on, man? But then, at this campaign rally, there were several different networks and media outlets that had like booths or little stages set up to have live conversation on site and maybe catch like some political figures and get some feedback or information from them. And so the Young Turks were out there, and InfoWars was out there. And so you can see, like, because everybody's recording their sets. So Alex walks up to the Young Turk set, and this is the thing. Now you can have it filmed from Alex Jones' point of view, and you have it filmed from the Young Turk's point of view. And what it seems like is, from the Young Turk's point of view, is that Alex literally just walked up on their set uninvited, and he lied and said that no, they invited me here for an interview, and Chink was like, no, we didn't. And he came on their set with these InfoWars t-shirts or Trump t-shirts or some kind of t-shirts he was holding up on their camera on their set, and Chink was like, yo, what the fuck? He was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? He's like, nobody invited you here. Why are you like crashing our set right now? And then Alex just tried to say some shit, and then Chink got fucking pissed to the point like he was ready. He acted like he was ready to brawl. I'm like, what the fuck? And then Alex and his crew leave the set. They walk away, and then I think like the cops get caught on them, and then they go and literally it seems like they hid at someone else's set. They left there. They walked a little while, and then they went and sat down somewhere, and they were like, oh, we were here the whole time, you know. And then they Alex started telling this story saying no, they invited us on their show, and then when we got on there, you know, they started bad mouthing us, and it was like a whole setup. And I'm like, Alex, that's not what you literally just crashed their set, and then you turn around and tell somebody that you were invited and you weren't, and you're telling people that he spit on you, and like he was like, I don't know what's going on, this is crazy. And I'm like, Alex, you just instigated that whole thing. Like, how did you, why did you even do that? And I've never seen like that clip again like that, and now they brought it up, but they're trying to make it seem like, oh, they still trying to say like Alex wasn't in the wrong. Like, bro, you were clearly in the wrong that day. You were clearly in the wrong, because they were on their own set filming, and it was pretty clear that it didn't seem like anybody invited you there. Nobody invited you on their set. You crashed their set. You started showing your own propaganda or something on their cameras. They forced you off, and then they called security or whoever, and then you dodge the security and go post up somewhere else, and then immediately start generating this story that was not the whole truth, if not like an outright lie. And then for a little while, I just like, yo, Alex, jeez, bro, I don't know. I just couldn't fuck with him for a while after that, for a long while. They say he really, really, really was pushing Trump. And then he did that weird shit at that campaign thing, and I was like, wow. And not that I completely tuned them out, because at that time it was hard. It's super hard to tune out. Well, if you're in that sphere, because that's where a lot of my information was coming from, and all my algorithms at the time were geared towards a lot of his stuff, and a lot of like Matt Dillahunty and Jordan Peterson and a lot of different guys like that. Now they barely pop up in my suggestions right now. It's weird. I'm getting so much Call of Duty stuff and video game stuff. How times have changed. But anyway, like, I couldn't avoid them completely, but for a while I just really tried to listen to other people just so I can keep a clearer perspective, because he was absolutely my go-to guy for information for almost everything, for every subject, any major topic in the news sphere. Like, let me see what Alex says about this shit. That was literally what I would do. But what does he say about it? and then I would branch out from there. I would get his take on it first, and then I would see how many people either agreed or disagreed with him. And normally, most people would disagree. Most people just disagree wholeheartedly with whole cloth with motherfucking Alex. And it's like, nope, this guy's alone. He's lonely. Is he really? And then, after a while, after like maybe a year or so of not really listening to him as much, and just, once again, just to make sure that I'm not um, being completely uh, just trying to be as non-biased as possible. Because once that incident happened, I just realized, like, for years and years, like, Alex was one of my go-to guys for journalism and reporting, uh, what I always call, like, the real news. And so I had to really question myself, like, have you placed yourself in this box? And, have you been missing out on a lot of other stuff? Are you too much of a conspiracy theorist now? And so really just try to, like, evaluate all of that, and still wind up coming back to Alex, like, he's not right about everything, and he can be a normal human. Motherfucker lie, admits to having, like, a drinking problem. Like, everybody has to always remember, these people are just people. This motherfucker got issues and problems just like everybody else. And everybody is capable of making mistakes or falling uh, subject to their prejudices and biases. And we all can do that. So, same way I feel about Trump. Like I say, after the first year, and I started, like, the first year or so of Trump in office, and me, like, pulling away from InfoWars so much, I still was able to see it. Like, yo, shit is fucked up. And then I started, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, yo, one of my homies, a black dude, yo, he was the first motherfucker, like, I had to have a debate with about Trump. And I'm like, I just don't trust Hollywood type people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, this dude, he come from money, and, like, he's a business tycoon, but, man, once you do, like, reality TV shows and start fucking around in Hollywood and shit, I'm like, you trust these Hollywood motherfuckers, man? They just, I don't know. Because in Hollywood, you get paid to what? Read a script. That's what they pay you for. You're an actor. You need to follow the script. It's already written down for you. Here is your lines. Read the lines. And so people who have done that and are able to do that well and entertain people, I get very leery of those type characters. I don't want no entertainer. I need somebody who's gonna really step up and be a leader, not act or pretend. See, when you're acting, that's how you're pretending to be something. I don't want a motherfucker who gonna pretend. I need a motherfucker who really about that shit, man. And so I just had to take long enough to evaluate and watch this motherfucker's actions. And once again, this bitch said some dumbass shit, bro. Some of the dumbest stuff ever. Nobody can't ever refute that. Motherfucker said some pretty smart shit too. Said some pretty logical, sane, all that. I'm a genius. I don't think so, Trump. I don't think you're a genius. I know you're not a fucking dummy though. That's one thing. This motherfucker not no dummy. Definitely not stupid by any means at all. But that motherfucker, he definitely ain't no genius either. But I tell you what, that bitch was smart enough to see he needed to swap out a lot of people in office. And it was weird, like having his family in there. Something about his son or his son-in-law or some weird shit. But then at the same time, you look at the Kennedy family and how all they people was into the politics and shit. Why not try to get people around you who you trust the most? But yeah, looking back at this clip from Alex, it's just so weird. And I still can't believe he acted like that. And I still can't believe, like, to me, it's still, like I said, I would call it a lie. Like, you just lied, bro. And I don't understand why you had to lie.
The reason why ain't nobody speaking up because everybody been condoning this bull in hip hop and film, television, and sports. There's young teenage girls around grown men all the time, and it has to stop. I agree with Nick Cannon. It has to stop, and I have a situation I want to talk about involving these two popular rappers, Ice Spice and Sexy Red, Metazone Zuckerberg, and this 16-year-old TikTok star. Rapper Ice Spice has a song called Deli, very explicit song and explicit video. And here's the TikTok star I showed you, alongside Ice Spice in the same video. Ice Spice had this young girl in the video on top of the bar, twerking with very short shorts on. The young girl even commented on being in the video on her Instagram. I was really shaking my in that deli. And rapper Ice Spice commented heart eye emojis. Why would an adult rapper, Ice Spice, want someone who's underage in her video, wearing what she was wearing, dancing in the manner she was dancing? This is from the TikTok star's YouTube channel. This is my favorite class. It also because of my questions. As you can see, this is a young teenager in high school. So I have another question. Why is Instagram, why is Meta allowing things like this on their platform? Meta and Zuckerberg are being sued after New Mexico Attorney General alleges Facebook and IG are steering predators to kids. What's up with that? Then there's rapper Sexy Red, who I just did a video on after she said she sold her soul and just left a Balenciaga party during a live video with her fans. Balenciaga. Sexy Red had a twerk competition on stage and
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now then, the reason why ain't nobody speaking up because everybody been condoning this bull in hip-hop and film, television, and sports. There's young teenage girls around grown men all the time, and it has to stop. I agree with you, it can, it has to stop, and I have a situation I want to talk about.
All that coffee.
Popular rappers, Ice Spice, and Six.
AKA temples that would charge up. That's one of the ways they would charge up. It would move faster, right? Now you see that, right? Some of these old temples used to be flying airships. You'll look at it and like, no, they don't fly. That previous video you just saw was showing you like one of the generators that would be used for one of these flying ships called a Vimana. Now, if you look at some of them, right, they just look like temples, right? But you see how big those towers are, right? Think those as like the power lines, right? Imagine that's like the power lines for the ship, and at the top, the tower point would conduct ether to power this and move it around. That's why you see shapes like this, because sacred geometry shapes generate energy. That's why you see the same thing on cathedrals. They generate energy. Some of those right there used to turn like a pepper shaker to generate energy. Here's another example. Those look like giant spark plugs, don't they? Some of these, like I said, they gather ether. They have sacred geometry all over it. Look at it. It look like a sacred geometry shape. You wouldn't think a whole civilization could fit in there, huh? Right? Just like Nibiru. Nibiru is a ship, a civilization ship. Same concept here. So they tell you when they made these, they used a hammer and chisel. Does that look like a hammer and chisel to you? Hell no. They use frequency and sound to carve into rocks. Some of these places, like I said, they would generate energy. That looks like a whole energy gathering. And think of a roulette table. That's what that thing would do. See what I'm saying? They built a hammer and chisel. For real. For real. Come on now. Be for real. Literally. A hammer and chisel? Really? How long would it take to chisel that? Be for real. You know what I'm saying? Be for real. Some of these, like I said, are old generators, man. You look at it, right? Oh, no, they ain't no. They
That
got
shit
stuff
look
like
crazy.
this built into walls and underground. You remember how I told you they build over civilization every Great Reset? Wow.
Yeah, that shit do
You'll
look
be
crazy.
very surprised to know these civilizations were super advanced. Why do some of them look burnt? It's almost like a laser burnt some of the buildings. That's interesting. It's not like they had watchtowers or anything, you know, where they would have castles and stuff in America, or, you know, like the video I showed you in Atlanta with a tower. That, something's telling me that wasn't built with no hammer and chisel. It's crazy. People could build this with just a hammer and chisel. Underground civilizations. They have something like this in Mount Shasta. That's why nobody can go there. It is privately owned. They had an expedition that went to Mount Shasta. All the people adios from this world. Coincidence? No, they ain't hiding nothing, right? You know, like old American Tartarian buildings. You know, I'm just saying, like some of your Capitol buildings are old Tartarian buildings in America. All I'm doing is awakening your mind. That's all. Just awakening your mind. That's pretty huge. Looks like a giant door. For who? Just strange coincidences, right? Right? Nah, that ain't. That's a ship. Look up the One World Tartarians by James W. Lee. Go to the Vermonters page. If you like this, follow, like, subscribe, and share, baby. Who is the celebrity? You remember how I showed you this? Like, some of those old temples used to be what's called Vermonters. Hammer and chisel to you? Hell no. They use frequency.
His name is Romani.
Here's why you should not freak out when the emergency broadcast system begins. If you watch the latest movie on Netflix, Leave the World Behind, you are...
Our DNA holds a message. I went into one of the...
So if you haven't seen this video, you should go check out Untold History. Basically, Russia released information on Antarctica. There's water that has been touched for 10 million years, and they have things like this on the inside. Now, there's people who always dissuade you. There's nothing in Antarctica. I've been to Antarctica. There's nothing but ice there. But they don't allow you to go into Antarctica. All your routes are predetermined, number one. Number two, you got to pay $10,000 to $20,000 for a trip to not even go in Antarctica. Number three, the map of Antarctica that they show even on Google Earth is fake. Number four, you can go look up Caleb.fe when he talk about, you know, the flight patterns. Really. You could look on my profile right now. I have a video that's showing the ice wall at Antarctica, and it looks like there's hieroglyphics on the ice. Like, there's something written on the ice if you look real close on the video. So there's some people who say there's nothing there.
They have shit like this under the water. And I've showed you the Urbamano Monte map of 1587, which you can go look up on Yandex, YANDEX.com, was from 1587. They didn't discover Antarctica until 1820, right? You know, AI generate some photos of things that would look like they would be in Antarctica. Show pyramid, I've showed those too, but I've showed actual photos from one of the voyages out there. From Admiral Byrd, but you know they canceled that out. They don't want you to see them motherfuckers. I've shown you videos of actual tropical land in Antarctica, like actual people, not from no movie, not from no game, from a military video, bro. That's on my other profile, WallahMe_4. Hold on. The thing about this is that this is the original Stargate. You know, you see Stargate HD1, that's a Stargate right there. If Russia released information on Tartaria, aliens, and all this, some people think that's controlled opposition and yada yada. They have more truth that they're showing, just like they had that melanated dude in that press conference in Putin's press conference. There was melanated people on the wall. Anyway, Antarctica, at one point, you could go to Google Earth and you would see a statue like this in the mountains. And then when people caught on TikTok, they erased it where you couldn't see. Google Earth is the ops. They're not going to show you the whole everything. There's islands you ain't going to never see on there that they use for heinous activities. You know, Squid Games and Hunger Games. They do that in real life. Like, y'all think that's a joke. They be stealing homeless people and everything. But just like the Bermuda Triangle, right? There's stuff like this. Like there was a continent between Florida and the UK called Mu. Next to Australia, there was a continent called Lemuria. How they just disappeared. They got a bunch of little islands and stuff you ain't gonna never hear about where they do genetic experiments. Y'all remember Jurassic Park? If I told you they have an island similar to that where they experiment with creating things, y'all probably be like, oh, that's false. They show you in these movies all the time. I showed you the video for silent subliminal presentation and everything you watch. That's pinned at the top of my profile on this one. You can go check that out. Like, they show you in movies and shit. Antarctica used to be a tropical paradise, number one. Number two, the technology there was weather changing technology. How come all those big people go to Antarctica? You know, like Hitler went to Antarctica 6-7 times. Y'all remember like a year or two ago when all the world leaders went to Antarctica? Bill Gates been to Antarctica. You know those families, they got islands out there like Rothschild Island and, you know, Coronation Island, Deception Island, you know, those are islands out there owned by certain families. So they kind of wouldn't own something that doesn't provide something to them. Delta Island, you can go look this up on Google if you want to. They got islands up there. So Antarctica, when people talk about ice walls and stuff like that, we have been trapped. There's other beings on the other side with tropical land. I'll give you an example. Mount Shasta. That whole place was an ancient civilization. I posted the video of an explorer and his team going there and finding an underground temple with stuff just like this. Everybody from that exploration died suddenly. You know how they do. The Grand Canyon. At certain parts of Grand Canyon you can't go. Stuff like this. Some of those places that are off limits to you in the world. Underground pyramids. I showed you that pyramid that was in Guatemala that had the lightning coming through it. It looked just like a mountain. I told you about organism 46B with Russia. You can go look that up too. They found a 14-foot squid with a neurotoxin. Been digging in Antarctica. Found a continent under the ice of Antarctica. For 10 years, Russia released that. Russia is out of the Antarctic Treaty. All the people signed the Antarctic Treaty right after Admiral Byrd's voyage. Admiral Byrd, when he was a Freemason, by the way, the next year they started NASA. Then the next year after that, the Antarctic Treaty was signed. Y'all think that's a coincidence? If I told you your oil is the water of another civilization, you'd probably say, oh, that's silly. If I told you gas is an abiotic material that never exhausts, and there's plenty of it over there, minerals, resources, jewels, diamonds, gold, silver, all kinds of stuff hidden over there, you know, and the treaty was signed so nobody could own it because they were trying to hide something over there. But why throughout history, some of the most important and prominent figures go to Antarctica? It's just a big old thing of ice. Let me ask you a question too. How many of you know there's a big hole in the center of Antarctica? That center goes down to a civilization just like this. How many of you know there's pods of beings sitting under ice just like this? I showed it on the AI video. So the funny thing about AI is that, you know, people, oh, that's fake. AI is giving you snippets of truth too. People just knock it off. Oh, it was just generated. That ain't real. Do you know how sentient AI is? All this technology stuff you've seen is old. They showing you flying cars. I showed you flying cars. I showed you jetpacks. They had. I showed you flying cars in the 1900s, hybrid cars, electric cars in the 1800s from Tartaria. So what kind of technology do they have? They got 3, 4, 5 million years ahead of you plus in technology, bro. I showed you. I even have the machine that they use to transfer consciousness, and people thought, no, that's not real. The dude is telling you what it do. I show people harmonic resonance, how they can use frequency to change your biological structure and heal your body. There's a patent for ionosphere, atmospheric, muscle tissue, and healing. I posted so many of these things with proof. Guess what happened? That's why I say, for the people who see it, they see it. For the people who don't, let them rest. Antarctica is the key to civilization. What if that is the key to get to more land that you have been blocked from because they don't want you to know how abundant you are and want to keep you in a mind matrix so you don't realize there's enough space for everybody. There's no overpopulation. It's overpopulated with NPCs. And they're trying to trace your carbon footprint, your footprint, soulful being, because they want robots. But we're not robots. We're souls with infinite experience. And when you realize what's going on, they evaporate. They don't exist as a collective. We can mind wipe them away because it's just light particles. Dark matter particles. Collective particles together can reshape reality. That's why they tell you watch what you say to yourself. Because thoughts are like particles. Energy sent out too. Hey, you can believe what you want to believe. I'm just trying to tell you a secret. It's not really a secret because they're telling you what it is. Much love to you. Do your research. So if you haven't seen this video, you should go check out Our DNA. When you are chosen, you're going to really know and really realize really fast that you cannot have a lot of regular friends. And what I mean by regular friends, or even lovers and friends. Lovers and all right, never mind. You realize really fast that you cannot have regular people in your life in an abundance. Like everyone who's in your life is going to have to be aligned, going to have to be healed, going to have to be on the same path you're on, because conversations with these other people just won't be conducive to you. It would be like in and out. It would be like, oh, in one ear, out the other one. Conversations with people who are aligned with you, those conversations.
Here's why you should not freak out when the emergency broadcast system begins. If you watched the latest movie on Netflix, Leave the World Behind, you are familiar with this. They released this movie so that when the emergency broadcast system does get released, people are supposed actually going to happen. But when this does happen, because it will happen, it means the exact opposite of what the movie tried to program you into. When the emergency broadcast system begins, it quite literally means that mankind has been freed from the darkness, if you want to put it like that. It literally means that the light has won and that this is the beginning of the transition. This whole transition process has to be done in a very careful way, because I feel like if you expose everything that has actually been happening for decades to people who have no fucking idea, it is going to create absolute chaos and a wreck in their consciousness state. That is why things are orchestrated a certain way. They are planned and placed in a certain fashion. So when this happens, don't shit your pants. Don't think it's a civil war. World War III is not going to happen. I know a lot of people don't believe this. I know a lot of people think I'm wrong, which is totally fine. You are so free to have your own perspective. I'm just making this to reassure you that you don't have to be scared of anything. They want you to be scared because they're literally playing their last cards, but they're about to lose. And they already know that. So when you see the emergency broadcast system, you don't have to shit your pants. Okay?
Well, would you look at that? It's the 1st of January. Japan already had a tsunami, almost like it was just ready to go on January 1st. That's pretty interesting that it would just happen, you know. Like I said, this year they're going full out on this media stuff, so my message to y'all, be careful what you watch and see. Use your awareness from your eye to really see what's going on. And if you have to turn on certain medias, do it. But, it's already January 1st. And it's not even the new year yet. It's about to get big. Let's go. The rise of the sun people is time, baby. Number 1. Number 2, there's going to be changes in our environment. Best believe that is coming. Oh, what y'all used to know ain't gonna be the same. Alright, so don't be surprised if there's something happening every month this year. So just trying to let you know in advance. Just save this video so when you start seeing an event every month, you're like, oh, is this planned? Or is this part of the plan? But it don't matter, there's something to freaking see all that shit. It don't matter, some beings who know what's up, know what's up. Let's get it.
We've heard that an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 7.4 has hit north-central Japan, according to the public broadcaster there, NHK. The meteorological agency has since issued a tsunami warning along coastal regions. I can confirm that we've heard from the NHK, who is the official broadcaster in Japan, and these are their words. They say, the tsunami is coming, a big tsunami is coming. Please run away immediately. Remember the Great East Japan earthquake. Everyone, a tsunami is coming. We've heard that an earthquake with a preliminary magnitude...
I don't even like my husband enough to be out here looking for his cheating ass. I'm happy he gone. This the longest breakout I ever had since we got married. He's controlling. I'm excited that he's missing. And then the police and y'all telling me I gotta sit here and do a news interview asking for help. I don't want help. I like that he's missing. I don't want him to come home. But I don't want y'all, you know, when the cameras start and stuff, I'll cry a little bit and act like I miss him, but I don't want the police thinking I had something to do with it because I don't care, but I'm tired of him. You get what I'm saying? Listen, I already done went to jail for holding my last boyfriend captive, but he deserved it. Exactly. So with my husband missing, they really gonna think it's me. I ain't did nothing. So whenever you're ready, I'm ready. If anybody has seen my husband, please. I don't cry so much my tears won't even start falling out my eyes. Baby, if you listening to this, if you hear this from anywhere, please come home, y'all. Please let my man free. I love my husband. I need my... I heard somebody say it's live. This live? It's been live the whole time? I don't even like my husband enough to be out here.
My favorite juice. This is the juice that healed me. I created it myself, the concoction of it, and I healed myself from all the diseases I was suffering from. I had a heart attack when I was 21. I was 264 pounds. I'm only 5'6". I had scar tissue on my heart. My kidneys was failing. I had diabetes and erectile dysfunction. And this will help me. So tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
All right, so I want you to do 7 green apples. You're going to do this daily.
Okay.
You're going to do 7 green apples. You're going to do 1 stalk of celery. 1 stalk of celery. It should have at least 6 to 7 limbs on it with the leaves. And you're going to juice this every day. It's going to remineralize your entire body. So the apples is going to stretch the cells and get all the toxins out of the cells. The celery sticks is going to give you all of the bowel salts that you need. It's full of natural sodium. That's very good for you. Pinch of cilantro. What cilantro is going to do is remove all of those different metals from the cells, whether it's nanobot technology, whether it's mercury, whether it's an overproduction of free unbinded iron, that's going to remove it from the cells. So use a handful of parsley leaf, a handful. The parsley leaf is going to open up the actual tubules, and it's going to open up the nephrons of the kidneys where you can filtrate out. So you can filtrate out rock. All right, you're going to use only a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. That's going to cleanse out the vasal. It's going to make sure it opens and dilates the artery walls and the vascular walls to help blood flow. You're going to use a thumb of ginger. You should get organic ginger. Everything you get organic. Never get nothing that's not organic. Scan the actual ginger and put the ginger in the juicer as well. 2 cucumbers without the skin. That's going to help you hydrate more. Cucumbers are one of your most hydrative fruits on the planet. And then a whole lemon with the skin. If you do this every day, this should make you you should produce at least 45 ounces of juice. If not, just add mineral water. What I mean by mineral water is alkaline spring water. You can get, my favorite one is Pana. It's called Aquapana, and you're gonna add it to that juice to fill up to your 40 ounces, and you're gonna drink that a day. My favorite juice. Have you guys ever heard about the Pyramid of the Sun in Bosnia?
No, I have not. It's crazy. This archaeologist was looking at this mountain. It had perfectly 4 sides, and he's like, that kind of looks like a pyramid. So he started doing excavations.
Yeah.
He found these giant stones, perfectly stacked. In the middle of these blocks was geopalmer, which is like an ancient cement. This pyramid was built, based off carbon dating, 35,000 years ago. The Great Pyramids, 7,000 years ago. This is where it gets really weird. He got shut down because Zahi Hawass, the lead Egyptologist, pleaded with the Bosnian government saying, don't let him look into this any further.
Weird.
And so the Bosnian government's like, you can't go dig up anymore. And the whole story just got swept under the rug. And then 50 archaeologists came out to observe it themselves, and they're like, this is a pyramid. If you get a satellite image of this place, there's 2 other mountains that have a pyramid shape to them. It's just so weird that every single culture had a giant pyramid. Have you guys ever heard about the Pyramid of the Sun in Bosnia?
No, I have not. Are you ready to talk about how the whole world used to look like this? You know what these here slongs are? Those are fungus trees, basically. Before there were trees, there were fungus trees. They were called prototaxites, and they were more than 24 feet tall. In the early stages of life on Earth, before there was really plants, there was fungus. And the fungus cultivated the land to then make it ready to ever evolve plants. And then the fungus had a symbiotic relationship with the plants carrying on to this day. We are just surrounded by this fungal network that we can't even see. Then you have the experiments on slime molds that can like solve puzzles and mazes and stuff. And that got me thinking, what if fungus a long time ago, like around this period, developed some sort of intelligence, a kind of intelligence that we don't really understand because we're stupid, but some kind of intelligence. And perhaps modern plants are like the technology of that fungal super intelligence that really rules the whole world. And hear me out. Everything alive, in the end, serves fungus, and during its life. There's fungus on you, there's fungus on the trees, there's fungus in the dirt. It's everywhere, and everything alive is contributing to it. You are a slave to the fungus. You are the fungus's iPhone, basically. talk about how the whole world used to...
The new year does not start on January 1st, okay? That's a huge lie that was installed by the Vatican, okay? The gentleman you see behind me is Pope Gregory, all right? He's responsible for what's referred to as the Gregorian calendar, okay? It's named after Pope Gregory. The calendar that we used prior to the Gregorian calendar was the Julian calendar. All of these holidays or so-called holy days are made up. They are fictitious. It's all a fallacy for their agenda, okay? This was done because they wanted to fit Easter in the calendar, all right? So they made alterations. We're actually missing about 10 days off the calendar to be exact. The months are in the language Latin, okay? I'm going to basically start from 7, okay? Septem would be 7, okay? And obviously they changed it down to September being the 9th month. Octo, we know that means 8, just like an octopus. That's actually supposed to be the 8th month, not the 10th month. Then they got Novum, and then they got Decim, and then they got 11 and 12. We see that. It's all false, okay? This is why they also came up with April Fools. April Fools is basically to say, hey, you guys been fooled, in reference to the calendar, all right? So all you guys making your New Year's resolutions and actually saying Happy New Year, it's false, all right? Our actual New Year starts in April, all right? All of this whole thing is a fallacy, and this is why it's time to wake up and realize that anything you've been told from ancient times were from people who didn't like us and whose objective was to subjugate us, all right? Peace and love to everyone. The new year does not start on January 1st, okay? That's a huge lie that was installed by the Vatican, okay? The gentleman you see behind me is Pope Gregory, all right? He's responsible for what's referred to as the Gregorian calendar, okay? It's named after Pope Gregory. The calendar that we used prior to the Gregorian...
All right, so if you purchase stuff like this on a regular basis and you not doing this stuff, bro, you are missing out on so much money. Like, bro, do you see that amount up there, bro? Like, yes, that is how much cash back I made just by taking this one extra small step every time I shop. That small step is purchasing through the register now. Ever since I adopted this little boy right here, I swear the price of my essential shopping has increased a lot. Look, I love Rakuten because I'm constantly finding good deals for him. And on top of it, I get cash back. I literally don't buy anything without going through the Rakuten app first. For real, y'all. Get this app like you have.
Scientists discovered an ocean just floating in space, and not like a normal-sized ocean. This thing is 100,000 times the size of our sun, and it contains about 140 trillion times the amount of water we have on Earth. It's the largest body of water ever discovered in the universe. And get this, it's 12 billion light years away, floating around a black hole. And to make it even weirder, the black hole is drinking the water. Stars get thirsty, I guess. Never thought I'd ever say that. As always, follow for more facts. Scientists discovered an ocean just floating in space, and not like a know yourself and know what's gonna work.
You were on your way home when you died. It was a car accident. Nothing particularly remarkable, but fatal nonetheless. It was a painless death. The medics tried their best to save you, but to no avail. Your body was so utterly shattered, you were better off, trust me. And that's when you met me. What happened? Where am I? You died, I said, matter-of-factly. No point in mincing words. There was a truck, and it was skidding. Yes. I died. Yes. But don't feel bad about it. Everyone dies. You looked around. There was nothingness. Just you and me. What is this place? Is this the afterlife? More or less. Are you God? Yes, I'm God. My kids? My wife? What about them? Will they be all right? That's what I like to see, I said. You just died, and your main concern is for your family. That's good stuff right there. You looked at me with fascination. To you, I didn't look like God. I just looked like some man, or possibly a woman. Some vague authority figure, maybe. Don't worry, I said. They'll be fine. Your kids will remember you as perfect in every way. They didn't have time to grow contemptuous of you. Your wife will cry on the outside, but will be secretly relieved. Well, sure. I come from somewhere else, and there are others like me. I know you'll want to know what it's like there, but honestly, you wouldn't understand. Oh, you said, a little let down. But wait, if I get reincarnated to other places in time, I could have interacted with myself at some point. Sure, happens all the time. And with both lives only aware of their own lifespan, you don't even know it's happening. So, what's the point of it all? I looked you in the eye. The meaning of life, the reason I made this whole universe, is for you to mature. You mean mankind? You want us to mature? No, just you. I made this whole universe for you. With each new life, you grow and mature and become a larger and greater intellect. Just me? What about everyone else? There is no one else. In this universe, there's just you and me. You stared blankly at me. But all the people on Earth, all you, different incarnations of you. Wait, I'm everyone. Now you're getting it. I'm every human being who ever lived. Or who will ever live. Yes. I'm Abraham Lincoln. And you're John Wilkes Booth too. I'm Hitler, you said, appalled. And you're the millions he killed. I'm Jesus. And you're everyone who followed him. You fell silent. Every time you victimize someone, you were victimizing yourself. Every act of kindness you've done to yourself. Every happy and sad moment ever experienced by any human was or will be experienced by you. You thought for a long time. Why? Why do all this? Because someday you will become like me. Because that's what you are. You're one of my kind. You're my child. Wow, you said incredulous. You mean I'm a god? No, not yet. You're a fetus. You're still growing. Once you've lived every human life throughout all time, you will have grown enough to be born. So the whole universe,
get body weight strong.
Alright. Alright. Yo, Frosty.
Alex Jones is with us. He's
like, no.
Their take was that you can't post pornography, so they should be able to. And I'm like, that is not what's going on here. And
by the way, Jimmy, if I can respond to that,
yeah,
that's a great point. You notice we didn't talk before this interview.
No,
this is unscripted. I remembered, so I didn't even know you were going to play that clip. I didn't know out of the gates. That's the first thing I brought up was I appreciate that you were one of the few people up front that saw what was happening. They were exaggerating what I said out of context, demonizing me, so that everybody else would accept me being taken off air, so they then had the prototype to get everybody else taken off air. And it later came out in government documents in the Wall Street Journal that indeed they chose me as a colorful, flamboyant person to get the public to accept that as basically training wheels to get everybody on board. But you hit the nail on the head. I've never killed anybody. Madeleine Albright tripled the sanctions on Iraq, as if it wasn't bad enough what George Herbert Walker Bush did, and killed several million people. She was in the middle of office as Secretary of State, and she gets asked by 60 Minutes, Leslie Stahl, 1 million people have died, 500,000 are children. Is that a good price to pay for what you did? She said, yeah, it's a good price to pay. We're proud of it. Basically, we do it again. Okay, she's lauded and worshipped. And then they knew they were lying about WMDs, and you get Colin Powell up there with the anthrax and all of that garbage they knew wasn't true. And so they've killed millions of people, but then I am set up in civilization and society as the worst person who's ever existed, because I agree with a couple callers calling in once saying, yeah, probably is fake. And I wasn't deplatformed for that. They needed something afterwards because it made me a martyr, what you predicted. So they dredged up this earlier stuff, exaggerated it times 100, then defaulted me in court cases when I gave them all the stuff. There was no case. The judges found me guilty and then told juries that I was worth $400 million when I was actually broken upside down last year. And now it's finally come out in court and my bankruptcy that I was upside down, when the judge says, you're not broke, you're a liar, and your lawyers can't put on any evidence. We're going to have a financial expert who hadn't even reviewed my documents get up on the stand and tell the jury I'm worth $400 million. I mean, and now Trump has a judge over his trial, his civil trial in New York. This is what they're doing. And even if you hate Alex Jones or hate the distilled clips people seen, that's really a straw man, fine, I'm the devil. When you take my speech, just like old-fashioned liberals were smart, they said, let the idiot KKK march, we hate them, they're horrible, but if we take these scumbags' rights, everybody else's is gone, and our rights are too valuable. So, Jimmy, you're an old-fashioned liberal. And I would say Tucker Carlson's an old-fashioned liberal. I know him well, we're friends, we go hunting, I've known him well for 10 years. You're around Tucker. He is a real old-fashioned liberal. He's anti-war. He's pro-free speech. He's for populists. He's against the big corporations. He's for monopoly busting, just like you. And that's why I got arrested for protesting George W. Bush. I was against those wars. I was against the Patriot Act. I don't even really call myself a conservative. I'm a populist, pro-human American, and that's why they feared me and misrepresented what I actually said and what I did.
And so tell me the misrepresentation of what of your positions that got you banned.
I was able to co-host a show for 2.5 hours a couple weeks ago with Elon Musk on Spaces that just the main show had 20 million views, over 100 million views of the clips. Biggest Spaces that Elon's ever done. I hear we're going to do another one soon. He was told by Tucker privately and others, hey, Alex was not deplatformed for Sandy Hook. He thought that. And he said on the air, he goes, no, I went to the log, and I noticed it was for confronting Oliver Darcy, who had been taking my sponsors and getting me kicked off things and bragging about it. So I saw him in D.C. going in a committee hearing that they were talking about me at later. And I confronted him and said, man, you're an anti-American person. Well, they called that bullying, and that was the final strike that took me off of Twitter at the time. And so then it only made me bigger for a while. And so they now bragged about it once they won these court cases by rigging them. A PR firm put out press releases when they won the Connecticut case, the second one in November of last year, 2022. That'd be 2 years ago, or 2 years back. And I didn't know what happened until later. So, yeah, Sandy Hook happens. It's real. I think it happened. It's a terrible tragedy. School shootings, are real. A bunch of academics and people start looking at anomalies. It becomes this huge internet thing, hundreds of millions of views on YouTube. Other people covering it. The professors in Florida and Wisconsin and a school safety guy and a bunch of people. And it turned out some of the things they said were true. Some weren't. Turns out a couple of them were probably schizophrenic. And I simply covered it on a few shows, had callers call in. What they put in evidence was 22 minutes over 6 years. It was 6 years after, 7 years after they sued me. I hadn't talked about it when they sued me for over 2 years. Barely ever talked about it. They cherry-picked it. The PR firm put the clips out, ran it right as I was being deplatformed in 2018. Suddenly, it's like they were invading a country. The propaganda was in sometimes every newspaper, almost every day, Nightline, or that's already gone, PBS, CNN, every show. Ted Koppel did chime in on other shows, but it wasn't Nightline. Dan Rather, all of them come out against me. I mean, Old Guard, they had 60-minute shows about it. They had NBC Dateline shows about it. And they said he's currently going to their houses. He's currently sending people to their houses. He's currently urinating on graves. None of that ever was put in court. No one ever did any of that anyways. And so then they sue me for years to get all these depositions. We give them all the discovery. There's nothing there. And they go, you didn't give us everything. You're defaulted. So now we're going to have a trial on damages, but you're already guilty. And then the judges in both places wouldn't let us. They had my phone because we gave them the phones. When they go, oh, he actually gave us his phone. No. We've given them all my phones. The real reason the lawyers got sanctioned is with the phones, they accidentally just gave them all raw, and they gave them some of the Sandy Hook medical records from those depositions. So the lawyers did mess up, but they already had the phones. So I've given them all the phones. How am I not giving them all my text messages, all my emails getting defaulted, and then they have from my lawyers a whole phone? Okay? And so this is the type of crap. In the Perry Mason moment, they go, we got you, we got your phone, and you didn't give us the stuff. And I went, you got my phone because I gave it to my lawyers. Well, you gave us the raw phone, you son of a bitch. So I'm like, yeah, my lawyers messed up and did that. I had nothing to hide. I'm like, here's my 3 phones over the last 7 years. I kept them, take all the things off, and the best they got, taking a dick pic of me. I never took a dick pic. And I'm like, look at the, I go, oh my God, wife, because remember that time you were asleep, I took a picture. And so they have a picture of my ding dong. So that's the type of weirdness that goes on. Our firms, after they won, came out and said they got bought by the biggest PR firm in the country right after that. They were already big out of New York.
Who were they?
And I forget the exact name. If you want, I'll Google it.
It's not the ones that tried to do Rogan, is it? The scumbag Midas Touch, Midas Brothers. That's the ones who got that thing going at Rogan, the big N-word Spotify controversy because he mentioned ivermectin. That's those guys.
Yeah, I don't want to get into inside baseball because Joe's asking me not to, but let's just say you're hot. You're
I'm just curious because I bet there's a couple.
There was a whole bunch of them. It was a whole bunch. I mean, I can search engine it. It has a particular name. They put out press releases when they, quote, won the case, saying, hey, we brought his evil to the attention of the public in 2018. Then we got him sued, and now we're going to shut him down. So what they did is they went and cobbled together some stuff, blew it all up, exaggerated it times 100, and then, I mean, I had people in the grocery store going, listen, you son of a bitch, you stop going to their houses. This is even like a year ago. I'm like, I never went to their houses. I've never been to Connecticut. I've since been there at the court case. I'm like, I didn't, no one ever went to their houses. No one peed on, there's no proof. They just get up on the stand. There was an FBI agent. I never said his name. Look this up. It was in court. They admitted it. Never said his name. No one ever covered it on my network and InfoWars. Didn't know who he was. The internet saw him with his gun pointing up the wrong direction with no FBI stuff on when he went in, and he is an FBI agent. And he sued me saying because a few people called his office to see if he was real, that was his testimony, he got $95 million. I never said his name, didn't know who he was till he sued me. And then my lawyer goes, has Mr. Jones ever said your name? No. Well, what happened to you? He goes, well, I had to take 6 hours of psychological stuff because one time a man called me at the office to see if I was really an FBI agent. $1 million. I mean, that is in the trial where I couldn't respond, and the judge gave us over 30 things I couldn't say. Couldn't say I was in bankruptcy. Couldn't say that I only talked about it in 22 minutes in all those years. Never could tell people I apologized before they ever sued me because I'm like, I'm not the Sandy Hook guy. I apologize. I think it happened. I was just playing devil's advocate. Both judges in Connecticut and Texas literally had the same list I couldn't say. And that's why when I did say, I'm in bankruptcy, she goes, shut it down, get the jury out, get off the stand, go sit down. And she goes, Mr. Jones, you're a liar. You're not bankrupt. You're not broke. Now, financial expert, we could not respond, got up for a full day and said, this man, I've examined his books, never examined our books, is worth $400 million. I was millions in the hole then. Okay? Millions in the hole then. And I'm like, here's my filed bankruptcy. The judge said, you're not entering that. And so again, whether you think I'm good or bad, folks, they murdered justice in a PR run operation. And then, I'm not supposed to get into this, but you were warm. You were white hot with what you said. They then got the text messages, and imagine whose text messages are on there. Innocuous stuff like, hey, let's get a steak. Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, come to the club tonight. And then there was a behind-the-scenes harassment operation that went on against somebody. So this is dragnet, just attack. Go after whoever you can. It's unbelievable.
It's what they do to espionage, like people for espionage.
Yeah. So, and you know...
Well, I'm ranting on that. Let me just throw this bookmark in and then I'll shut up, Jimmy. I knew this when Obama left office in the John Warren Defense Authorization Act of 2017. His last act, major act, was to sign the defense authorization. He got $2 billion in there to set up the Office of Countering Foreign Disinformation Propaganda Act, which then started the Trump's a Russian agent, and now we can spy on his whole operation, and we can get General Flynn because he's a communist, and then now they admit with the weaponization hearings, off of that wheel, at the middle of that wheel, they built the spokes of the censorship, the surveillance, the FBI, the CIA, coordinating all the censorship. That's all it did. I knew that. This would get no news coverage. I remember running an OSD platform 4 years ago, watching the House Armed Services Committee meeting, where they had the Pentagon's experts saying, Mr. Jones is a Russian disinformation agent. We're tracking him, and we're now working with big tech and AI to block his Russian influence. I have the clip. So what I'm saying is exactly what your co-host just said is that is what I was, and we know a 3-letter agency used law firms, the top Democrat law firms in the country ran this, law firms, PR firms, but it was the Justice Department. Listen to this in my bankruptcy, and they were done up to send an email. This is a year ago. The Justice Department, an email to my famous bankruptcy lawyer here, well-known, super respected, done some of the biggest bankruptcies in the country for like chemical giants, and says, Mr. Jones will not be afforded the bankruptcy system. This is a hurdle he will not get across. And then the Justice Department came into the case, and when I'm in these depositions, they have 1 to 2 federal agents in the room hoping to find something. And I've been so transparent, so real, all the bookkeeping checked out, everything was true. Remember all the headlines? Alex Jones, he's got secret accounts. Alex Jones has offshore accounts. Alex Jones has hundreds of millions of dollars. You can go to Bloomberg, I was actually covering today. You can go to the Connecticut News. Alex Jones is broke, sold his car and his guns and his basically wife's jewelry. I am $3 million in the hole right now. You can read them. Here's the headline. Alex Jones is broke and selling his stuff. Here's how he got there. Bloomberg. Alex Jones gets green light to sell his guns and cars. Bloomberg. They now admit that I'm $3 million in the hole. So again, I under penalty of perjury all this. So now they flipped from, oh, we were wrong, he didn't hide $400 million, to, oh, sorry. Oh, they also sued my dad, my mom, my family. My dad spent his whole savings, who was a dentist for 49 years. My dad has no money, can't even pay his property taxes. My dad spent $1.5 million in the last couple, and they think it's funny. Funny, claiming my dad had hidden money. I know I'm ranting on, to shut up now.
So, and the reason why, so I had said that, well, first they come for Alex Jones, and then they're going to come for us. If you're doing independent news and you're speaking against the wars, they're going to come for us. And so that's why you have to stand up right now. And of course, nobody at the Young Turks will ever go against the wars. They're always for the wars. They're always for whatever the establishment wants, whether it's smearing Julian Assange or pushing Russiagate hoax or COVID lockdowns and demeaning ivermectin and lying about that. And they're all for all of it. So that's why they didn't care that you got banned, because they're never ever going to go against the establishment.
Well, they're given talking points. Nobody, I can tell, nobody gives you talking points. Nobody gives you talking points. And that's why they don't like us, is because that's why they don't like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan says exactly what he really thinks. And they don't like authenticity, but the people like it. So yeah, you were big back at the time you defended. You were big. You're gigantic now. So it's kind of fair what Tucker said is no huge show defended Jones. No show he heard of.
And so it went from you, and then it immediately went to journalists, and then it went to leading journalists, then it went to the leading doctors and scientists in their field, and then it went to the former president of the United States. They banned everybody. So it wasn't just Alex Jones. They banned anybody and everybody, including anybody who had any counter narrative to the establishment narrative around war, around COVID, around lockdowns, around January 6th. Around anything. Anybody who had anything to say that the CIA, the FBI, and the establishment didn't want them to say, they banned, they censored, and they discredited. And I've firsthand have knowledge of that.
You know what? One of the first bullshit testing on who we can do this to was Gamergate. There's people that work in real journalism that to this day still bring that up like that was a real thing. It was the exact same kind of bullshit. I had the whole media do it to me for a week. Mm-hmm. Charlie Rose, I'll never forget that tweet at me. Then he got Me Too'd later, that piece of shit. Yeah. Hilarious.
Yeah. So do you think the reason why they went after you so hard and they had to take you down, they had to do all this nefarious stuff, twist your words to take you down, was so that they could set a precedent, so they knew what was coming, so they knew that they were going to want to censor anybody and everybody, and so they had to have somebody to start with, and that's what that was?
I actually know this, and I always forget the name of the article because I don't usually subscribe to stuff, but I had to get behind a paywall to find it. About 6 months before I got deplatformed in August of 2018, when Tim Cook literally held a powwow meeting, he admitted, decided to curate me, and they wouldn't even say why. Then they gave some fake reasons later, not Sandy Hook. Remember, 6 months before that, I don't remember the exact Wall Street Journal headline, but there was another article about it called hold on to your tinfoil hat, Alex Jones. Oh no, hold on to your tinfoil hat, Alex Jones. You're about to be taken off the air. And then it was a synopsis of the Wall Street Journal. This Wall Street Journal article was one of those articles for the corporate elite. And so it was like 25 pages long. I go subscribe to it, and I forget the exact headline, and it was NATO meeting with the tech heads in Europe and meeting with News Corp, and they said in the article, don't worry, when News Corp splits and sells its entertainment division, we're still going to be popular. This was to the shareholders of News Corp through the Wall Street Journal that they actually also own on the news division when it split. And so I'm reading this 20-something page article, and it says, soon the internet will be like cable TV. I think they use Netflix as an example. You'll have 1,000 channels maybe, but that'll be it. We're not going to let people go to all these old sites and alternative sites, and we're going to do it by going after Assange. When the left doesn't stand up for him, the journalists don't, we'll have the left. We're demonizing Alex Jones. He's a horrible person. When we then take him off the air and the right wing doesn't stand up because they don't want to be next, then when we take off the next person, the next person, the next person, it's human nature, no one will stand up, and we'll take them all, liberals and conservatives. And I've got to find that article again. But it was a 20-something page battle diagram. So I go on air with it, and I say, I'm about to be taken off, because that was a high-level article, not for pop culture, but for real business people to invest in News Corp when they split their entertainment division, and they explained, we're going to end freedom on the internet, and we're going to use this punk to do it. So it wasn't that I was that important. I was big, sure, and I was populist, and they fear that, and I was uncontrolled. But they chose me because I did do clownish stuff a lot, and I still do. I have fun on the air 4 hours a day. And so I was just chosen as patient zero along with Julian Assange. It was me and Julian is who was in the article, and it's very cold-blooded. So yes, they admit that I was the first domino.
And the feds tried to take your cat, right? Were you able to keep him?
It's actually true. My wife, the cat's like 4 years old now. We got for my now 6-year-old daughter, she wanted a cat. The other cat we love so much had snuck out of the house and got down the street and got run over. And so we heard that ragdoll cats were really great. Another Joe Rogan story says the best cats ever, super smart. So I get a ragdoll, and folks, they are amazing. It's like a dog. It's super smart. We go on walks on the golf course. It's amazing. Listen, one day I walk in, and the cat's a year old, and it's on the toilet pissing. Didn't teach it out. It just saw us doing it. Swear to God, strike me down, it's not true. And so my point is, I'm in a deposition with the U.S. Justice Department, and like 7 lawyers deposing me in the conference room. They came here, in the conference room, right through those doors, and they look at me, and the federal Justice Department says, Mr. Jones, how much did your cat cost? And I said, I think it cost $2,000. And they said, all right, well, we're going to put that on there as an asset you're going to have to give up. And I said, is that a joke? And they said, no, we're serious. But they're going to give me an opportunity. My bankruptcy's almost over. I'm selling everything right now, which I don't even care about, including this watch soon. I'm going to have my dad or somebody buy the cat for me. So, no, they are trying to take the cat.
Kind of unbelievable.
I mean, I know that doesn't sound real.
Sounds real to me. I think they're pigs.
The news called them, and they admitted it.
They think that's great. Like they think, yeah, it's all like it's like cancel pigs, but with the real full force of the U.S. government behind them.
The Willie Nelson story is true too.
Well, tell me about that.
Okay, I used to know Willie really well. I used to go to his house and play chess with him outside Austin, and because he was real anti-war, and he hated George Bush. He saw my movies about the war, and so he came to one of my movie showings one time. And so for about 2 years, I hung out with him probably 10, 15 times. And a few years, about 10 years ago, I went to dinner with him once, but he's kind of, even then his brain was not 100% what he used to be. But I knew him when he was 74, 75. He would invite me out to Maui and stuff. I never went. But the point was, we got to be decent friends. And I'd go out to his house and hang out at Luck with him, and I'd smoke a lot of pot with him. I'm not a big pot guy, but he smoked pot with Willie. And he has those vaporizer volcanoes back before most people heard of them. This is like, in like 2005 2007 and 8 and stuff, and we would smoke pot till I couldn't walk, and playing chess, and he would just keep, and he would suck on it and keep saying one more, and he would just keep going. I mean, when he says roll me up and smoke me, but the point was when Willie Nelson hands you that thing, it's dripping with spit. And I'm like, I'm not going to wipe this off. It's kind of cool. I'm not gay, but I was like, it's Willie Nelson. So it's just funny. I always make that joke to family and stuff. I had Willie Nelson spit in my mouth. And I was telling a story just the other day to family and some friends. And I go, wait a minute. Jimmy Dore spit into my mouth. Because if you watch the video, I'm like, oh, yeah. And all of a sudden he goes, and I remember I was like, is that iced tea or Coke? I got so much of it in my mouth. It's a funny story.
It was actually called Honest Tea. That's the irony there.
Anyways, I'm just fired up to be on and to actually get out of the Matrix because I'm like in Phantom Zone on my own show weekdays. I'm on some radio stations. A lot of folks come to Infowars.com. But other than that, the worst part about being canceled and being deplatformed is they can now build this fake person however they want. And so they don't just silence you. That'd be okay. Like go away like Obi-Wan Kenobi. No. They then build this person you're not, and so, it gets worse. They run headlines. Alex Jones sends child porn to Sandy Hook families. And I couldn't go on Twitter, I couldn't go on Facebook and say that's not true. They subpoenaed 9 million emails. They said, no, it's not enough. We want all, and we were dumb enough, because why are we even storing it, to have 15 years of emails on this email system. And we said, screw it. My lawyer said, nothing to hide. We searched it. None of me scheming against them. None of me talking about them. I had crazy sending me emails about Sandy Hook, which they later put in the court. Look what this lady sent you. Doesn't that sound bad? Oh, that's the proof I'm bad. And someone who was attacking me for questioning Sandy Hook sent me emails with embedded, invisible links to child porn. They just happened to scan the millions of emails and find the hidden links. So we got a letter from the FBI in days saying Mr. Jones is the victim of this. They were actually nice and did that. And Jones is not a suspect. These were unopened emails, because they did it with the FBI. These are unopened emails that he never opened. He's the victim of someone sending it to him. It's like swatting somebody, but another form of... But the headlines didn't say that. The headline said, Alex Jones sends child porn. Really? Why am I not in jail? So again, that tells you about these PR firms.
Yeah.
It's like you're running for office, but just to live your life.
Yeah, yes. So, let me just ask you just a general question. How much of our reality do you think is manipulated by elites or intelligence tricks?
Depends on the person. Some people are totally oblivious and pay attention to nothing except for sports or sitcoms or whatever it is they're into. Other people are political, both right-wing and left-wing, and think they know what's going on. And they're establishment right-wing, they're in a facsimile of disinformation. They're establishment left-wing, they're really in a hologram. And then you've got just normal, populist, informed people from blue-collar workers up to academics that just really get the fact that the public trust has been broken. The mainstream media lies on purpose. They're very nasty. They're trying to divide the country for social control. That was in the WikiLeaks emails from a head psychologist of a psychology department. I think it was Columbia, but I forget the exact one. And this is certified real WikiLeaks. And he says, we're losing because people aren't paying attention to us. It's not that they hate us or even agree with us or disagree. It's that they don't even care about us anymore. So we're going to have to go to culture war. And this is in 2016 in the middle of the election. So, right. so they're using, that they legalized back in 2010. Obama, remember?
Smith Modernization Act.
Legalized propaganda, exactly. You guys have covered that a lot. I've seen you do that. And so that's the CIA. So they always planned stories overseas that came back on purpose. They had Operation Mockingbird that came out in the Frank Church committees in the 70s, late 70s. But this is directly the CIA going after you. And look, I can speak to the CIA. People always go, oh, he admits he's an agent. He admits he's bad. No, I laid uncle. It was high level in Army Special Operations and like running stuff in major operations in Iran-Contra. And I had other family that was involved in back when HUMAT was really big before it was all digital. And so growing up, I had family talking trash about the government, how they're lying, how they're full of crap, how both parties are bad, how it's all big corporations, about all they did. And then this is me listening around the corner to family where both people, have been in this. And I'm like, yeah, son of a bitch. All we did is go around paying off the mafia and then cracking heads. They didn't follow our orders. And yeah, those bastards are smuggling kids out of Guatemala. They ought to all be shot. And like I'm sitting there around the corner. This was both sides of my family, by the way, had people who were in this. That sounds like, ooh, it's mysterious. No, it's like working at Walmart. Before the mid-90s, when signals intelligence and digital spying, the NSA really got to where it could grab every call and every email, it was 90% human, 10% signals. They phased that all out in the mid-90s, but before that, the CIA didn't just have its regular budget. It was, dealing cocaine. It was everywhere. It's like saying, oh, I had family work for Coca-Cola, except it's a government criminal mafia. And they recruit the best in their classes, patriotic. They had programs in the 60s. Oh, you want to be part of NASA in the early 60s, and kids would go who were top of their class. A recruiter would come into the school and say, oh, you're top of your class, and I see you, do all this, and you can shoot really good, and you filled out this survey for NASA that you camp out sometimes for a week by yourself when you were like 12 years old, and you've done all this stuff. We want you to join NASA. You to come to the University of Texas when you're 15 next year, and we want to put you in a program. That happened to one of my family, very close to me. And by the time he was about 19, he figured it out and was like, whoa, I'm not doing this. Okay, so but you couldn't swing a stick in the dark, in Texas at that time and not hit these people. And so, I've had growing up, a German, East German at the house for 3 months who's being trained how to do something. So I'm telling you, that's how close I am to this. I know all about this stuff.
So, okay, let me just get your take on the Ukraine war, because the American people have no idea what actually the Ukraine war is about. They have no idea that there was a coup that the CIA instigated with the help of the Nazis inside Ukraine. They don't know that there were 2 peace agreements that Ukraine violated, not Russia. And they think that one day Vladimir Putin just woke up and got a bug up his ass and decided to invade Ukraine. And that's his first step into invading the rest of Europe, which it just seems mental, and because it is. And so I wanted this recently came out. Ukraine Ambassador Chalyy, who participated in peace talks with Russia in the spring of 2022, because there was a peace agreement. As soon as this war started, there was immediately a peace agreement. And remember, Boris Johnson was flown at the behest of NATO to talk to Zelensky to squash it. Well, here, this ambassador is going to talk about that very thing. Here it is.
I was in that moment in the group of Ukrainian negotiators. We negotiated with Russian delegation practically 2 months, in March and April, the possible peaceful settlement agreement between Ukraine and Russia. And we, as you remember, concluded so-called Istanbul Communique. And we were very close in the middle of April, in the end of April, to finalize our war with some peaceful settlement. For some reasons, it was postponed. But to my mind, Putin, this is my personal view, Putin in 1 week after started his aggression in 24 February last year, very understood he did mistake and tried to do everything possible to conclude agreement with Ukraine. And Istanbul Communique, it was his personal decision to accept the text of this communique, which totally far away from the initial proposal of Russia, ultimatum proposal of Russia, which they put before the Ukrainian delegation in Minsk. So we managed to find a very real compromise. So Putin really wanted to reach some peaceful settlement with Ukraine. It's very important to remember.
There it was. That's an ambassador who was part of the negotiations in April of 2022. They had an agreement, a compromise with Putin. He's saying Putin really wanted to have peace. He really wanted to end the war. And of course, that all got squashed. Now, Putin has talked about this, and we've covered this, and it all got squashed because the United States and the UK, meaning NATO, didn't want it. And so they had Boris Johnson go to Ukraine and tell Zelensky, you better not do this. Plus, he also had the Nazis saying, in Ukraine, if you do it, we're going to hang you from a tree, and which they probably would have. So he didn't do it. So he squashed the peace agreement. So again, the aggressors are the United States, NATO. The warmongers is the military-industrial complex, and it's not. They have to make Putin out to be this caricature of a thug. Even though, meanwhile, we're occupying a country right next door called Syria, a third of that country, and which third do you think we're occupying? The part with the oil. So what do you say to this? What have you told your viewers about Ukraine?
Well, I've told them the exact same thing you've said because it's the truth. If you go back to 9 years ago, the Victoria Nuland got caught on a release tape. She didn't deny it. Yeah. The ambassador to the EU saying, screw the EU, screw what they want, we're going to basically start, a war. And then 7 years ago, a few years after that overthrow and that coup, where they attacked the government, killed all the police, and, burned down buildings and installed their new leader that was, more anti-Russia, then had a CNN report with Fareed Zakaria where George Soros went on there and bragged that he got $5 million from the State Department and had done the coup a few years before. And then U.S. troops and advisors began to come into the country and trained Ukrainian death squads, because, the country split between Slavic and kind of Germanic groups, and that was the split in World War II, but it's still where Russia was founded 1,000 years ago, is mainly Slavic. But Europe's been pushing the Russians for hundreds of years, basically back towards the Russian border. And so they began to attack those 99% Russian areas, and Putin kept saying, stop doing it, stop doing it, stop doing it. And he said, if you try to bring them into NATO, I'm going to take, which he then did a few years later, and he said, I'm going to take the Donbass regions and Donetsk and some of those other areas there on the western border of Russia as a security zone, and so it was a provocation by NATO. I'm not defending Russia. I'm not a Russia-phile.
Brother,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I love you.
I love you too. What other text you was talking about?
You sent me a picture of Aunt Gina and Uncle Larry.
Oh, damn.
I said, I'm so jealous. Give them my love. You always been a favorite. How long are they going to be there? You ain't responding at all with your bikini.
Oh, damn. They was only here for that, they were here from, Saturday till Monday.
Okay.
But they were gonna do, Friday to Sunday, but, that gallery where the art was at, it isn't open on the weekends. And so they had to wait until Monday before we can get down there and check it out, so. But, I don't know, that shit shocked the fuck out of me. Uncle Larry called. Like, yeah, what are you doing this weekend? I'm like, nothing. He was like, me and Gene are gonna come up. I'm like, when? He was like, this weekend. Like, he called me, like, the day before. I'm like, what the hell? So.
How's he doing?
A lot better, matter of fact, he celebrated a year of, out from that open heart surgery, like, while he was here, I think that Saturday, he was like, it's like a year to the day that I've had that surgery. I'm like, wow, that's crazy, bro. But, a year later, he's not walking with his cane, and he definitely doesn't smoke, so it's a year smoke-free, and he doesn't drink as much, and his diet is a lot different, so I think Uncle Larry still got some life left in him. He ain't doing bad at all.
That's good.
Yeah, he's not doing bad at all. What did you do last night?
Me, Me and Skip and Emily watched the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings play the game last night.
You staying with Skip?
No, I'm at Aunt Jackie's house.
Oh, they all came over there?
Mm-hmm.
Where Lena?
Lena in the bedroom. Her period came on today, so she ain't feel nice. Let her say hey to you.
Hey. How long y'all been there?
Say hey. No. Say hey.
Hey, what's up, princess?
Chip. Hello?
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Ah, happy New Year's. I know. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
Mhm. You know, I see y'all chilling in the country with Auntie. You know, I just wanted to call and talk to y'all, chat with y'all. Your mama texted me this morning.
She said, okay, you want to say hey to Aunt Jackie and Uncle Roger?
Yeah, let me talk to them.
I'm going to go downstairs.
When y'all got there?
We've been for over a week now.
Over a week?
Yeah, I'm not leaving until next Friday. I can't, I got a good vacation. You know, my job, someone operates with the school system.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as the kids are off, I really don't have to do nothing with the kids in person. So a lot of my other work is done remotely. So I just bought my work laptop on my work phone with me. And until I have to see the kids, and I don't have to see the kids in person until the 10th. So we're leaving out Friday morning.
Okay.
And good little break with my family. Hold on. Where Jackie went? He got Uncle Roger.
Yo, how's it going?
All right. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Pretty good.
That's good. Happy New Year.
Yes, sir. Same to you, man. Same to you. You know what I'm saying? We get another chance to do it all over again.
Okay.
All right. I don't know what Aunt Jack was. Aunt Jack! She might be in her bed. I didn't even think about that. Is that those hoes? Aunt Jack!
She might be hiding from y'all.
It might be. The truth is awesome. And she upstairs with because her shoes off. There she go. Say hey. Hey.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good. I'm here to call about your auto insurance has overlaps.
And you can't even get it right. Clown. Who just come down? That's you. Just trying to
That's right. That's right.
What's up, nephew?
Nothing much. How you doing this morning?
Huh?
I said nothing much. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. What about yourself?
Hey, I'm all right. I'm in the studio working on some art. You know, it's a good day for me.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good hearing from you. Voice sound good.
Yeah, you sound good too, man. I miss you.
I miss you too. You had some company out there a month ago, so, huh?
Yeah. Surprise company. So. Huh? Yeah, they called me like the day before. And but no, we had a good time.
I'm glad. Just know I love you, nephew.
Yes, ma'am. I love you too. I'll be home this year.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do something.
All right.
You must be new. I love you.
All right. Love y'all. All right. Bye. Mm-hmm.
But I have studied the history of it, and then I knew, that's how I was able to predict in October 2 years ago, plus, before the Russians went in February, that there would be a war in that area, that Putin would go in by February if he was going to, because that was the intel I got from people I know in the military, whose sons were over there already training Ukrainians, and they knew it was coming. And so when the Russians lied and said we're not going to invade a few weeks before, and the Reuters reporter confronted the State Department CIA guy and said, "You're Alex Jones now," claiming the Russians are going to do a false flag and invade or whatever. But I was saying, no, the Russians are going to go in, and they don't want people to know because NATO's moving weapons up against their border, and if Ukraine joins NATO, they've said they're going to put nuclear weapons there.
Yes.
And so this is a major escalation. People don't know the Cuban Missile Crisis, that Kennedy put medium-range Hercules missiles
in Turkey,
and what was the other missile? The Hawk missiles with nukes in Turkey, and so that's when the Russians then put nukes in Cuba.
That's why they don't take the point about that with Ukraine, because we provoked it before and thought we should be allowed to do that.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so Russia, Putin told the truth. By the way, you talk about this ambassador saying that you just mentioned, you just played. Putin at the time said, "I only want a security zone, and I only want to make you sue for peace." And he was never planning to take the capital. He did that to pin down their forces while he secured those areas. And so he said, "I want a peace deal." He gave speeches at the time saying, "This can end right now. Say you're not going to enter NATO, and say you're not going to attack these eastern areas, and I'll completely pull out." But he said, "If you don't pull out, I will take as much of Ukraine as we have to secure our border." Because remember, 90% of the Russians live in Western Russia. And Putin said, "We don't need more land. We're the biggest country in the world. We have more resources than even Africa. It's like 3 USAs can fit into Russia." He said, "We don't want to expand. We want to stabilize. We want a peace economy." He cut defense spending until this war started for the last decade. So he's not in an offensive position. The globalists controlling America are in an offensive position, and it has to end. Now they're going to conscript women. Now, the former head of U.S. forces in Europe last week just called for them to conscript women. Zelensky's calling up 500,000 people, and they know they've already lost. So it's purely a political diversion and a money laundering operation, and it is pure war profiteering at its most sick and most evil.
Yeah, it's just amazing to me how well the propaganda works. We learned nothing from the Iraq War. I mean, as a general people, We learned nothing from the Iraq War. We learned nothing from 20 years of lies and the Afghanistan paper that showed that Afghan was a 20-year lie. That we did learn nothing from Libya turning the most successful country in Africa and turning into a failed state with open slave markets. We learned nothing from Vietnam. We learned nothing from Syria and the lies about gas attacks. We learned nothing from Yemen. Nothing. We've learned nothing. And they could just pull off this Ukraine, and you get the Rachel Maddow's and Sean Hannity's and Anderson Cooper's to go on and just lie about the war. And you know they're lying because I know the truth. And who am I? I'm a comedian. And so I know the truth about it. I know they have to know about it because they have $1 million staffs. I don't have that.
And now they're not just picking fights with third world Muslim countries so they can just pump trillions in, like Afghanistan, and steal it. No, ladies and gentlemen, I know the Afghans aren't Arab, but I'm talking about the Arabs, but at least, and also the Pashtuns, the Afghans over there in Central Asia. Now they're picking fights with the largest nuclear power in the world that lost a third of its population fighting Hitler. So just like Napoleon went to destroy his empire, the American empire is going back to Russia to die. I love America. I'm a loyal American. Putin isn't censoring me. Putin isn't stealing elections. Putin isn't taking my political front-runner candidates off the ballot. Putin isn't dissolving my borders and telling people to come up here for free stuff. Putin isn't shipping in fentanyl to kill 100,000 people a year. He's not doing any of that. And it's all our hijacked, crazy, out-of-control government that's run out of people to start fights with. So now they're starting fights with the biggest nuclear power in the world. Somebody needs to take the keys away from these maniacs.
So speaking about, how Americans are they're the most I say Americans are the most propagandized people in the world, and they don't know it, right? At least in the old Soviet Union, when somebody saw something on the news or read it in the paper, they knew it was probably propaganda. Same thing in China. But in America, people literally think that Lawrence O'Donnell and Jake Tapper and Laura Ingraham are telling you the truth. It's just mind-blowing to me. I just went to a couple of Christmas parties, and it was like watching a wind-up cartoon doll of people just repeat propaganda back to me, whether it was about Fauci, I was talking to a guy, he just got his booster last week. He just got his booster.
He has 8? He has all 8?
I'm guessing he does.
I don't know anybody who catches them all.
Okay. Anyway, and so and so just to speak to this, now I used to be a big fan of Bill Maher's. And so Bill Maher recently said that, now, it's been clear to me since I started doing this show that Bill Maher is ignorant on purpose, right? Either he's mind-controlled or he's ignorant on purpose because it's just so obvious. Again, if I have access to this information, a guy who works at HBO with $1 million staff, he also has access to this information, and he's either mind-controlled or... So listen to what Roseanne asked him this question. This is very interesting.
No wonder I don't remember this.
No shit, you blocked it out, MK Ultra.
Who's that?
Doesn't know who's that. And I don't think that's a joke. I think he's... Do you mean Martin Luther King Ultra? Is that what he thinks? It's unbelievable. Can you believe he pretends not to know what MK Ultra is? Or do you think he really doesn't know? Or do you think he's actually a victim of it?
I think Bill Maher is lying there. He also said he doesn't know who Klaus Schwab is, I think, in the same interview.
Yes, here, let me play it. Here it is.
That's the mind control program you're under, Bill. Yeah.
So who's Klaus Schwab?
The head of the WEF.
What's that?
This is mind-blowing to me. He doesn't know who the people are. He doesn't know what MK...
Igor Hararian.
So
He's Igor of Klaus Schwab.
So not long ago, Bill had on someone named Bella Thorne on his podcast, and she was offended because he mocked her pronouns. So who the fuck is Bella Thorne? She's a 26-year-old actress who, unlike Klaus Schwab, the WEF, MK Ultra, that's someone who Bill actually has heard of. So he's heard of some no-name actress nobody's ever heard of, but he's never heard of MK Ultra, WEF, or Klaus Schwab. Boy, he is the smartest guy in the room, as long as the room is filled with dumb shit libs. Am I right?
Well, that's right. And now he's trying to act like he's more populist because he knows people are waking up. Look, he's not stupid. We know Leonardo DiCaprio and hundreds of movie stars get paid to go to the WEF, flown on private jets. I bet a lot of money, I don't know this for a fact, that he's been invited to the World Economic Forum. It's all over the news. It's massive coverage during their events. And I mean, people knew what it was 20 years ago. They certainly knew 10 years ago. And then in the last 3, 4, the liberty movement, the populist movement, it trends on Twitter every week. It's all over the place. So I don't believe that he doesn't know what MK Ultra is. I mean, even History Channel and Discovery Channel have had hundreds of programs, literally since it's been on for 40 years, 35 years. I mean, I've seen 50 programs. I don't even watch a lot of TV about MK Ultra. It's on PBS. Dr. Ewing Cameron in Canada, over 10,000 kids over 30 years taken from foster homes and stuff and electroshocked and given drugs and programmed into new personalities. And they had congressional hearings on it in the 90s and the 2000s and in 1977. And he doesn't know about MK Ultra that Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber, was in. LA Times, Alexander Cochran looked that up. So I don't believe, no, he's playing dumb because he knows these are the things you don't talk about.
I mean, come on, if the WEF and Klaus Schwab were real, I'm sure Bill Maher would have heard about it.
I don't believe in nonsense.
By the way, Jimmy, that's the old tactic. Just 10 years ago, they would have New York Times articles saying Alex Jones feverishly was having a schizoid event in Virginia outside a hotel conference center, imagining there were men with sunglasses and helicopters. Meanwhile, the King of Spain's there, the head of the Defense Department, Henry Kissinger, world leaders. They had Marines on top of the building with State Department security, literal black helicopters we got video of. Okay, it's in my film Endgame and others. And then the New York Times, the film I was in called The New World Order, and said it did not exist. Now, by then, it was set up after World War II between what was left of the Nazis and the UK and America to kind of reconstitute Europe and the Marshall Plan. Their own documents have been released by the Congressional Records Office. This is an official group, but they wouldn't cover it, and they would say it wasn't real, even though the Bilderberg Group, as of 15 years ago, went public, started putting out press releases about who would be there, but that it's secret. Okay? So even 5 years after they're publicly admitting they exist and putting out where they're going to meet, the New York Times was saying it does not exist.
So, yeah, I mean, I always, again, when I was, it seemed like if you talked about the Bilderberg Group, you were some conspiracy, crazy tinfoil hat person.
There is no mafia.
And, right, there is no, right, hey, the first rule of MK Ultra is there is no MK Ultra, am I right? And so I don't think Bill Maher is controlled by the CIA. I think he's controlled by another 3-letter organization. It's called HBO.
That is what it is.
Yeah.
He does sound like Hannity when he's asked about Bilderberg. Oh. Sean Hannity, watch him play dumb.
Oh, he plays dumb too?
Oh, yeah.
But now I know.
He always plays dumb.
So the Bilderbergs had a meeting in Washington, D.C. It was maybe a year or two ago, and Max Blumenthal from the Gray Zone went and covered it, and that's how I know for sure it's for a real thing. And he documented the people who were there and the people who were coming in and out.
Yeah, they meet 3 years in 3 years in a row in Europe, and then every 4th year they meet in Chantilly, Virginia, at this. Usually they meet at like 5-star places. This place is nice. I stayed there before they got in there.
Uh-huh.
It's like a 4-star giant conference center surrounded by defense contractors, Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. I mean, literally, it's a conference center with a golf course so they can play golf, because they play golf the 4th day.
Play
That's like a
hookers,
party
I'm sure.
day. And it's surrounded, but something your co-host, everything he says is key. Notice he said, the mafia doesn't exist, and that's the parallel I use with this.
Yeah.
It was until the mid-1950s, Congress and J. Edgar Hoover, who was being blackmailed by the FBI over his cross-dressing, that's come out, he would testify to Congress, J. Edgar Hoover, head of the FBI, look this up, I'm sure you guys know a lot of history, so you know about it, that La Cosa Nostra and the mafia was a myth, and there was not an Italian mafia. Of course, we now know there's mafias in all groups. And it wasn't until some rogue FBI agents, planted a bug in a farmhouse. Remember in Connecticut, I think it was.
Yep.
And they caught like the 15 mob heads, like in The Godfather, in this big palatial farmhouse, meeting around this big table, carving up the country. And then suddenly we all know the Italians have a mafia. And it's the same thing. But they don't want us to know there's a global BlackRock corporate mafia that wants to control the world, that cloaks itself in liberalism and wokeism to give them political cover while they drive us into World War III, devalue our currencies, and just destroy us.
So speaking of that, the new mafia, which a lot of people, one of them's the new mafia, Silicon Valley, the WEF, the military-industrial complex. Well, look at this story. Mark Zuckerberg says Facebook of the future will be powered by telepathic thoughts. Facebook users, and this is according to him, Facebook users in the future will share telepathic thoughts and feelings to each other, Mark Zuckerberg claims. You're going to just be able to capture a thought, what you're thinking or feeling in kind of its ideal and perfect form in your head, and be able to share that with the world in a format they can get that. He called on people to think less in nations, but as a citizen of a global community using innovations in technology for progress. This sounds like exactly what every person who was claimed was deemed a conspiracy theorist. Here it is. Here's the head of Silicon Valley, the head of Facebook, Instagram, the billionaire himself, Mark Zuckerberg, saying, hey, don't think of, just like, you remember that movie, Network, where Ned Beatty gives that speech where he says, there are no countries, there are only companies in the international transfer of dollars. And you have upset the natural order of the transfer of dollars, and you must atone. That's what he's saying right there. He's giving the Ned Beatty speech. He's saying there are no countries, there are only companies.
You have meddled with the tidal forces of nature, Mr. Neal, and you must atone. You get up there on your little bitty 18-inch screen, and you talk about nations and borders and peoples. There are no nations. There are no borders. There are no peoples. There are only and that's actually the globalist speech. I've actually been in boardrooms similar to that, and those are off-record meetings. They were trying to get me to join News Corps and trying to get me 15 years ago to go to Fox and meetings like, listen, this is all over. It's a corporate global system, Alex. You'll have more in effect joining us. Come work with us. Henry Kissinger had the head of his Kissinger group one time in front of my producer. And this wasn't off record, so I've told the story. Say, come to New York. We want you to work for us. You can lead the Liberty Movement, but that's how you'll have a seat at the table. So they go around and buy people up like they just buy up baseball cards. But go back to Zuckerberg. He's literally saying, we're going to read your mind. Facebook's going to read your mind. Well, that's super creepy. Well, how are you going to read our mind? Again, but he also put $24 billion or whatever it was into the metaverse, which was a hellscape. So, but it shows you where they want to take us. They don't want just the Internet of Things. They want us. They want our minds. They want our bodies.
You can order pizza with your mind. Did you see that in 60 Minutes?
Yes, you can
that
order.
Idiot, the one guy, the guy was like, did you just order pizza with your mind? Like, he couldn't believe.
It's the Matrix. It's the Matrix. Yeah. It's the Matrix. You're going to be in a pod. And they have patents now for beds you lay in, and the heat from your body powers the computers.
Wow, that's very Matrix-like. That's unbelievable.
Originally the Matrix, it wasn't supposed to be batteries because humans are shitty batteries. It was supposed to be they were hooked up as a neural network for the computer, but the dipshit producer said no one's going to get that. Say they're batteries.
Oh, really?
And so that instead of it being batteries, it was originally something much like. Not too smart, just a good thing. That battery thing scientifically doesn't hold up at all because a dumb fuck producer said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's true. And so let me add a caveat. There is a Wired magazine article came out about 12 years ago. It was talking about Eric Schmidt and the founding with In-Q-Tel and the CIA and the NSA, who already had the search engine system where they would grab all the data and emails and internet traffic and phone calls and create word messages, and then if they wanted to search what we were saying, Google was the NSA search engine for a program called Echelon. This is all declassified. And so Google at their first meeting, when the Pentagon signed on, said, we're going to create the first AI, but it's going to be a cybernetic AI where you're a neural network, and we get billions of people in live time dialed into us, and then we'll be able to send messages back and stimuli to control them as the original inventors of the internet in an ARPA-DARPA program in 1960, where a Pentagon psychiatrist, looked this up, created the Intergalactic Communication System. It was on paper, and said there would be big TVs everywhere that gave you messages. You would carry a handheld computer that would track everything you did, and daily you download it into the system. It was all theoretical, and then they would then use the Intergalactic Communication System to program humanity. So this is an original theoretical plan that they developed the theoretic blueprint for in 1960. Look it up. You can't make this up. And that's what Google is today. And it is artificially intelligent because it's a computer interfacing with us, and it is AI. But the secret is AI is us. That's why when you see AI art throwing what we've done, plagiarizing our writing, our videos, our photos, our poetry, we go, this is beautiful because it's narcissistic. We're looking at ourselves in the pool of water.
Representation. That's stupid shit. Yeah. I always thought Twitter seemed like a big crazy brain. When you look at the whole thing, I'm like, oh, how do we know Twitter's not already alive?
No, that's the secret. Elon Musk is using it to program his AI Grok. And so they took everybody else off the internet because Google's training its system and didn't want anybody like us on there. I've been told this by high-level people. Look at that. And so, yes, Musk actually bought Twitter to promote his stuff and politically be involved, but the real reason is to program his AI.
Oh, here's something that's even creepier. So Mark Zuckerberg says that this is going to happen in the future.
It's here.
Well, here's the WEF.
This is important.
Telling you that it's already here. So this is about a maybe a 3-minute video, and watch what they have to say. This is kind of mind blowing.
Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song, sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play. Glance at the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up, telling you to take a brain break. Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. Then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present. You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Emails, text messages, and GPS location data has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. They're looking for his co-conspirators. Or they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. You know you're innocent of any crime. You've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. You remove your earbuds.
What do you think? Is it a future you're ready for? You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived.
Yeah. When I saw this, it was 6 months old. Like at the end of Watchmen. We did our plan a half hour ago.
Yeah. So it's here, Alex. I'm sure you're aware of this, right? That this video exists and that
Jimmy, I'm aware that they want to turn all the workspaces into giant re-education camps, and this is MK Ultra being externalized to the public. I have not seen this clip showing how much evil stuff the WEF puts out, how they just normalize you're going to eat bugs, you're going to drink sewage water, which LA's now doing, you're going to live in a 250 square foot 5G oven apartment, coffin apartment. I know, you think Alex Jones would have seen this. I had not seen this. I'm like literally yelling at my producer, I turn my mic off saying, get this, get this, get this.
Zuckerberg says that this is going to happen in the future.
It's here.
Well, here's the WEF.
This is the one
telling you that it's already here. So this is about a maybe a 3-minute video, and watch what they have to say. This is kind of mind-blowing.
Sweetwater is your ultimate destination for keyboards, synths, pianos, and more. With the hottest new releases, iconic mainstays, and rare exclusives, you'll find everything you need in our wide selection of gear. Plus, when you shop at Sweetwater, you're only
Alex Jones is with us. He's an
and they want such a scientific, factory-farmed, dumbed-down population that they even allow to be around. They want 500 million. That's official number. So they want to get rid of 7.5 billion people. And they want factory-farmed people that they mind control.
Telling you to take a brain break. Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. Then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present. You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Emails, text messages, and GPS location data has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. They're looking for his co-conspirators, or they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. You know you're innocent of any crime. You've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. You remove your earbuds.
What do you think? Is it a future you're ready for? You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived.
Yeah. When I saw this, it was 6 months old. Like at the end of Watchmen. We did a play a half hour ago.
Yeah. So it's here, Alex. I'm sure you're aware of this, right? That this video exists and that
Jimmy, I'm aware that they want to turn all the workspaces into giant re-education camps, and this is MK Ultra being externalized to the public. I had not seen this clip showing how much evil stuff the WEF puts out. how they just normalize you're going to eat bugs, you're going to drink sewage water, which LA's now doing. You're going to live in a 250 square foot 5G oven apartment, coffin apartment. I know, you think Alex Jones would have seen this. I had not seen this. I'm like literally yelling at my producer, you know, I turn my mic off saying, get this, get this, get this. And then that shows why you're important, we're all important, because this assault is so huge. And notice what she said. In Star Trek, when the Borg cube arrives, they say, resistance is futile, you will be assimilated. And it's always a woman they hire. They admit their documents, so it's less threatening.
Siri voice.
Hey, yeah, don't be scared. It's already here. Don't be scared. So, sorry, Jimmy. You guys are so good, though. That's why I'm so excited to be on here.
Alex, so when I first saw that, it freaked me out because it had about 600 views. That's it. It had about 600 views.
Yeah.
And I watched it 3 times because I couldn't understand if she was for or against this. I noticed the guy in the back giggling like while she's saying that. But if you look her up, it's called Brain Transparency. I still can't tell if she's for or against it.
She's for it.
She goes, well, it's here, so we have to have this discussion. It's a discussion we're going to have. We're going to have that. It's here already.
Hi, Frank George here. This is the EMS foot massager. EMS is electrical muscle stimulation. It's low-frequency treatment designed to stimulate your feet and ankles, Achilles tendons, calf muscles, and increase blood circulation. It elicits muscle contractions. It's effective for muscle strengthening, too. It's used for rehabilitation purposes, preventing muscle atrophy and muscle toning. It is suggested to be used once a day. It's got a...
Hello, everybody. I'm Nicholas Thompson. I'm the CEO of The Atlantic, and I will be your moderator today. We are going to have an incredible session. The star of the show is Nita Farahani. She's a futurist and legal ethicist at Duke, and she's so smart. It's so interesting. You're going to learn a ton. This is how it's going to work. We're going to watch a short video. She's going to come on stage and talk, and then we're going to do a little Q&A, questions from the audience, and that'll be a wrap, and you'll leave enlightened and excited. So, first off, the video. It's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves to fight crime, be more productive, and find love. Let's roll.
You're in the zone. Even you can't believe how productive you've been. It's finished. Your inbox is under control, and you're feeling sharper than you have in a decade. For joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song, sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play. At the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. Your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up, telling you to take a brain break. What's that unusual change in your brain activity when you're asleep? Earlier in the month, you send a text message to your doctor with a mental swipe of your cursor. Take a quick look at my brain data. Anything to worry about? Mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. And then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present. Be the sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. At home, jamming to the music, with your work-issued brain-sensing earbuds still in. You arrive at work the next day. A somber cloud has fallen over the office. Emails, text messages, and GPS location data has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. Compelling evidence that one of your co-workers has committed massive wire fraud. They're looking for his co-conspirators. Discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. You know you're innocent of any crime. You've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. You remove your earbuds.
What do you think? Is it a future you're ready for? You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived. Everything in that video that you just saw is based on technology that is already here today. Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before thought possible. You've heard a lot about AI over the past few years. Here at Davos, it's been the talk of the hour. But I want to talk about it in a different way, which is the ability to decode brainwave activity. After all, what you think, what you feel, it's all just data. Data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. Consider this. The average person thinks thousands of thoughts each day. As a thought takes form, like a math calculation, you're happy, you're tired, you're hungry, you're elated. Neurons are firing in your brain, emitting tiny electrical discharges. As a particular thought takes form, hundreds of thousands of neurons fire in characteristic patterns that can be decoded with EEG, or electroencephalography, and AI-powered devices. In fact, what you're seeing here is my brain activity while I'm wearing a simple device like the one on the right. We're not talking about implanted devices of the future. I'm talking about wearable devices that are like Fitbits for your brain. It used to be that there was very little we could tell from EEG activity. But already, using consumer wearable devices, these are headbands, hats that have sensors that can pick up your brainwave activity, earbuds, headphones, tiny tattoos that you can wear behind your ear. We can pick up emotional states, like are you happy or sad or angry? We can pick up and decode faces that you're seeing in your mind. Simple shapes, numbers, your PIN number to your bank account. It's not just your brain activity here that we can pick up. We can also pick up your brain activity in different places, like as your neurons fire from your brain down your arm and send signals to your hand to tell you how to type, move. All of that can be decoded through electromyography, and that's what you're seeing here is a device now in the form of a simple wearable watch that can pick up that activity. And one of the pivotal acquisitions of the field, Meta acquired this company, Control Labs, in 2019, because major tech companies are investing in helping to make these devices universally applicable as the way in which we interact with the rest of our technology. In fact, the coming future, and I mean near-term future, is these devices being the primary way in which we interact with all of the rest of our technology. Rather than a mouse or a keyboard, you can simply swipe with your mind. Move your hands more seamlessly when you're in VR or AR. Use your brain as the way in which you interact with all of the rest of your technology, which is an exciting and promising future. But also a potentially scary one, a transformative one that will change the way that we interact with other people, and even how we understand ourselves. Let's take a look.
This is where some of our core technologies for PMG come into play. Neural interfaces, when they work right, and we still have a lot of work to go here, feel like magic.
So if you send a control to your muscle saying, I want to move my finger, it starts from your brain, it goes down your spine through motor neurons, and this is an electrical signal. So you should be able to grab that electrical signal on the muscle and say, oh, okay, the user wants to move the finger.
What is it like to feel like pushing a button without actually pushing it? That could be as simple as, hey, I just want to move this cursor up or move it left. Well, normally I would do that by actually moving. But here, you're able to move that cursor left. And it's because you and a machine agree which neurons mean left and which neurons mean right. You're in this constant conversation with the machine.
This new form of control, it requires us to build an interface that adapts to you and your environment.
exciting future, a seamless future. It's a future that has already arrived in many contexts throughout the world, and especially in workplaces. So it turns out that one of the most compelling early applications of this technology is to be able to decode at least some simple, effective states of individuals that can potentially improve their well-being, potentially improve productivity, but certainly transform what our lives look like in the workplace and in our everyday activities. While we can't literally decode complex thought just yet, there's a lot that we can already decode that's quite relevant for the workplace environment. Consider the fact that right now, many workplaces have individuals who have to be awake and alert at all times in order to do their jobs well. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Take this example where this trucker decided to take a 20-hour shot for a 1,500-mile ride, well exceeding the amount of time that any trucker, long-haul trucker, is supposed to drive. His employer didn't discover his choices until the fatal accident that was disastrous for the company and cost many lives. He could have known much sooner. He could have detected whether or not the trucker was entering into the earliest stages of microsleep, starting to go from being alert to tired well before it occurred. And he could have done so through a simple hat, a simple wearable hat that has embedded electrode sensors that would pick up brainwave activity and give a score between 1 to 5 to help the employer and the employee know what stage of alertness the person was experiencing and whether or not they were starting to fall asleep. Now you might think, okay, we have driver assist technology in cars already, why do we need this? It's because this happens much sooner, much more accurately, and it gives you the real-time information that you need in order to make choices to intervene before a person is perilously exhausted. And we as a society should want that. We should want a technology that enables us to be safer, to all be able to exist in an environment where commercial drivers or individuals who need to be wide awake are wide awake when they're supposed to be. Because when they're not, the consequences are disastrous. While plane crashes are much less frequent than other forms of accidents, at least 16 plane crashes in the past decade have been attributed to pilot fatigue. Which is probably why, in more than 5,000 companies across the world, employees are already having their brainwave activity monitored to test for their fatigue levels. Whether it's the Beijing-Shanghai line, where train conductors are required to wear hats that have sensors that pick up their brain activity, or mining companies throughout the world, employees are already having their brain activity monitored, and it very well may be something that we want to embrace as a society. Okay, you might be shuddering, right? That was certainly my first reaction when I discovered that we are tracking brainwave activity in the workplace and that we can do it at all. But I believe we need to have a much more nuanced conversation about it. Because I think done well, neurotechnology has extraordinary promise. Done poorly, it could become the most oppressive technology we've ever introduced to a wide scale of customers. We still have the chance to make it right. All right, well, does the same analysis hold true if instead of trying to monitor whether a person is falling asleep or awake, we decide that we want to monitor their attention levels to see whether or not they're paying attention and being productive? I would argue, maybe not.
Your IT deserves an update. Introducing Atera, the all-in-one IT solution. It's robust, intuitive, easy to use, and it only takes 5 minutes to onboard. So what are you waiting for? Stop doing IT like it's 1995 and move forward to Atera.
How many of you wear something like an Apple Watch? Fitbit, smart device? Yeah, many people. It's a many billion-dollar company. I mean, many billion-dollar industry at this point. Wearable devices, quantifiable self is just a widespread movement. Most people are very comfortable with at least some forms of human quantification. In fact, it's become so widespread that most people feel like there's not that much to worry about when it comes to doing something like monitoring your heart rate. But it turns out that that kind of technology in the workplace, particularly when it's used to monitor productivity of employees, where they're moving throughout the factory floor, whether or not they're taking breaks or unscheduled breaks, is the kind of thing that employees resist, unionize against, rise up against, and undermines morale. What we've seen consistently is companies from Amazon to Tesco to Walmart and others have introduced what is considered to be bossware or surveillance technology that employees really don't like it, even if it makes their lives better. Okay, well, if you don't like your job, just quit. But what if there's nowhere to go? What if everywhere has ubiquitous monitoring? In fact, during the pandemic, what we found was that 80% of companies admitted that they use at least some forms of so-called bossware technology to monitor the productivity of their employees. Whether it's a white-collar employee monitoring what's on their screen, or in any other context,